125.40, pleased as punch. If we come back to 125.70s and we reject again, I have no qualms getting back in this short, but I am really happy with this trade. This is the second day of me hiding my P&L for my sanity, so we're going to keep doing that. Basically, I want to clarify again, I knew we had that VWAP bounce, but my plan for this, my impetus for the trade was that we would break below VWAP, and this is why sometimes you just got to have confidence.
Guys.
And here we go. The people are coming now.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So
thank you for letting me rant there.
no worries. People finally coming in. Sorry, guys. We did not migrate over from the other stream. So now people starting to come in. So welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining Adair and I on How to Trade on the Midday Show. We are talking all week about average true range today. We're going to take it easy before the long weekend. We have a long weekend here in Canada. We're just going to talk about, some of the pros, some of the cons of average true range, and we'll get, a nice little light lesson today. But before we do that, let's have a look at the markets and see what is moving at the moment, guys. Charts moving up right now is basically Google, really nothing else, everything on the downside. Amazon looking for a possible double bottom at 196. Keep your eye on that. 214 possible double bottom on Apple. I was telling Adara, kind of off camera today, I feel there's a lot of 50 exponential interest between the Mag 7 and the 50 exponential today. And what I see here is multiple rejections off the 50 on Apple. I see a bounce off the 50 on Microsoft. I see multiple rejections off the 50 on Google. Nice bounces off the 50 on Tesla. And look at NVIDIA getting its footing right over the 50 again above 125.50. There seems to be a lot of interplay between the Magnificent 7 today and the 50 period. So I'm going to keep my eye on that. Personally, I'm looking both ways today, both long and short, depending on the instrument that we're talking about. These are some of the small cap gappers I'm looking at. I didn't get to put the ticker on this one. CMAX is what this one goes by. And this one just rocketed up about 30% or so while we were migrating on over to the other stream. 475 right now, topping till candle. Watch out for that, though. We'll get more information on these. I'll give you the details on them, et cetera, once we get back. Anything you want to cover before we start the lesson du jour, Dara?
Yeah, thank you so much, Noah, in the chat there for the kind words. I really appreciate it. I'm always really happy to be here, and I always feel very lucky to be able to trade the mega caps and everything like that. Trying a SPY short here, really small position, like teeny tiny baby shares. But really, I watched that 548 rejection in the book, and I said, you know how much smoke I want? All of it. And the SPY said, okay, Adara, we'll get a bonfire started here. Please does punch. I don't have enough shares for a beak wetter here, so if we get to 60s and we don't bounce, I'm getting out. Happy with that and ready for our lesson of the day.
Yeah, sorry, just putting in a couple of tickers, and then we're going to start in a second over here. So as I mentioned, average true range, we're talking about that all week. Today, we'll talk about how it's a powerful tool, but not a crystal ball. Definitely can help you, but does not give you that, what is the word I'm looking for?
Certainty?
No, looking for that clairvoyance. There we go. Traders, we've explored how the average true range, ATR for short, can be a valuable tool for intraday trading. Today, let's address a crucial point. ATR is definitely not your crystal ball. While it does offer valuable insights, it does sadly have limitations that we need to understand. That's what we're going to talk about today. So the allure of the prediction. I mean, everybody always asks, us and others in the chat, what do you think Micron is going to do after earnings? What do you think? Should I buy Nike at 80 bucks? We all want to be able to have the allure of prediction, to be able to predict price action. Sadly, that doesn't always work out. So we all crave certainty in the ever-changing market. The ATR might seem like a magic formula that predicts future volatility and price movements. But remember, guys, the market is complex and very much influenced by various unpredictable factors. So the power of the ATR, of average true range, let's talk about some of the good stuff that it can do. It really does excel at analyzing historical data. Historical data needs to be underlined and bolded here. Here's how to help us even without predicting the future. Understanding volatility is one of the main measures of average true range. It tells us how much an instrument typically moves in a day. This helps us gauge things like the market environment and choose suitable trading strategies for that particular instrument. We talked about how to use the multiplier 4 times this week, and the multiplier that you use in the formulas that we've given you over the past few days have to do with the market volatility, with the instrument volatility, and with your own specific trading style. So you need to get really nuanced if you're going to use average true range to influence your stop, influence your trailing stop, influencing your profit taker. You're really going to have to figure out what multiplier works best for you and in what circumstance. So I want to highlight that point. ATR also quite good at setting realistic targets. Instead of fixed profit goals like we talked about when we talked about profit taking using ATR, ATR average true range allows us to set dynamic targets based on the expected daily range for that instrument, which leads to more realistic profit expectations and really customizable profit expectations. I shouldn't expect the same type of volatility from Google as I expect from NVIDIA. I shouldn't expect the same type of volatility that from Tesla in 2022 as I saw from Apple, okay? And I also shouldn't expect to trade the same way that Adara would trade NVIDIA as myself. That's why this all sets realistic guides, realistic expectations based on the multiplier that you choose. And it also helps informed stop loss placement. We talked about how stops can be your best friend but your worst enemy because they shake you out of winning trades sometimes. By considering the historical volatility of the instrument you're trading, you can place stop loss orders that account for normal price fluctuations for that instrument, which prevents unnecessary exits. And your trailing stop management, we talked about this yesterday as a way to kind of gauge where to place trailing stops. Combining average true range with trailing stops allows us to dynamically adjust our exit strategy as the price moves in our favor, balancing profit protection with giving the trade room to grow, okay? So beyond the ATR though, right? To make informed trading decisions, we need to go beyond average true range and look at some other technical analysis factors, like using technical indicators like support and resistance, moving averages, momentum indicators like RSI and MACD, to confirm potential entry and exit points. So again, like we always mention on the show, it's on the balance of the evidence. Don't place too much weight into one indicator or one piece of evidence. And you also have to look at the fundamentals of the company. What is that sector doing? Like we know, for example, today, microchips, semiconductors, been very strong this past year. Would I necessarily trade semiconductors the way that I would a more maybe subdued a sector like banks? No. My expectations for true range on semiconductors, immaterial of the actual name, should be a lot more than what I expect on banks. Banks are not as volatile as semiconductors, and you can make that blanket statement for the majority of them. So the way that I would trade these semis is not the way that I would trade banks, and it's also quite good for risk management. Always practice sound risk management techniques like setting appropriate position sizes and making sure you're using stops in order to get you out of trouble. And guys, remember, the market is always dynamic, rarely is it static. News, economic events, investor psychology can all cause unexpected price movements. So take that into account, I should say, when you are taking average true range or incorporating average true range into your trading arsenal. And again, just to surmise, average true range is a tool, not a guarantee. It doesn't predict future volatility. It doesn't even try to predict future volatility or price action. It is a lagging indicator, not leading, and needs to be looked at. And so bonus tip, always combine ATR with other analysis methods and risk management strategies to make those informed trading decisions. Backtest your strategies if you want using historical data. And I know for certain that Trade Ideas allows you to backtest your strategy about 3 months into the past there. So go on Trade Ideas and use TraderTv.20 for 20% off, Adara.
Yeah, shout out to Michael Noss, who was on the show this morning. He's also on the market recap on Monday. So shout out to Mr. Noss, the Noss boss, if you will, who will be hopefully having a very fun Canadian holiday because we have our Canada Day. Wow, words. But yeah, thank you so much to Sharif for that lesson of the day. Yeah, ATR is really interesting, and I like that you use those examples too. It's very much a more personal indicator. It depends on how you're going to be trading, what type of stuff you're looking for, and like everyone's going to have their kind of own approach. It's not a one-size-fits-all, which is pretty cool. So shout out to that. Okay, so I have not gotten back in NVIDIA short, but you guys know I'm always looking. I'm looking at the 60s area, should have gotten involved here, but instead, I think we could flat bottom break here. I don't know if I want to say flat bottom break, but if we break below that 125.40s, which like I said, that's been a level I've been looking at for 2 days now. Third day could be a charm. I want to absolutely have my eye on that level. AMD here though, initially I tried the long because we were bouncing, then we ended up getting this topping tail candle. We break into 163.10s. I got involved 163.29s, I believe. We break into 163.10s, I get out. I'm like, cool, it's fine. Right now, if we kind of break up into this 163.30s, and I see something different here on the book, I'm going to be getting out. So risking about 25 pennies. This is a smaller position, both the short that I'm taking now and the long I tried previously. I know we're kind of near this support-ish area that we had earlier, so I'm very cognizant of that. But I think if it breaks down in tandem, or I guess in confluence, with that topping tail candle, I think this could be a really interesting look. We have broken below that 163 while I've been in the trade. I would like to see us break below it. Again, right now we're kind of hanging out in this trade. Noah, thank you so much for the $5 super chat and best of luck to you here, saying, just entered my first ever real money short. Choo! I'm short T at $19, and I remember to set up my stop loss at $19.25. If I lose, worth the tuition. Woo! Yeah, I love that attitude, Noah, because I think you really have to try stuff. As someone who was scared to short for a long time, even in the sim, I have to give you props for that.
Push back. She already pushed her chair back.
Push back of the day for this T chart. This is a gorgeous look. I love this look. Look at us hanging out. If we break below that V, this is the type of trade I love. So shout out to you, Noah. I do hope you print. We always hope everyone prints.
Of course.
And I think this is honestly, this chart put a smile on my face. But look at this too. We're also coming into that previous area of support here, that 1890, what is this, 7. So be aware of that level. I think this is a really cool short, though I totally pick up what you're putting down. Because Sharif was saying yesterday too, sometimes it's like you don't always know what people are seeing.
Yeah.
This chart, I absolutely see what you are seeing there. Hopefully you get a call that says, congratulations, you got some money on that on your AT&T mobile. Also, speaking of puns, I really want to quickly address the pun that Neil was making on the big show.
What do you do?
Amazon primed. So Amazon Prime for 200. That was something I said, not realizing it was a pun. I just said it this morning. I was like, I think which one's gonna break first, Amazon or Tesla? I think Amazon's Prime for it. Then everyone starts whooping, and I'm like, what did I say? So I accidentally punned. So I wanted to put out there because Neil noticed it. I said to him, we get part ownership, but I just wanted to.
Yeah, that's nice.
But yeah, shout out to Amazon, which is really interesting there also too, because I brought it up. This is not what I trade very often, but I was looking at that 196.40 short, should have been way more on that. Nice breakdown here, a bit of a doji candle. If we come back to 196.20 and reject, it's on. AMD kind of slowly trickling to the downside like water in the stream, so I'm happy with that. What are you looking for?
I'm looking at Tesla. I'm looking at getting in at the 50 exponential. I've set up my dip trade at 60. Pennies exactly to front run this size over here. If I get triggered, fantastic. If I don't, I still kind of believe in the higher low situation here on Tesla. So I will take a breakout trade through the break of 201.11. So if it goes up into that 201.11, I will take it there, but I'm still looking to get filled at 60. So I will not cancel that 60 bid. So we'll see what we get. We're doing the dance with no pants on the future right now on the NQ September contract with that 20,100 level. We're below it at the moment by about 4 points. Some bottoming tail candles coming in, looking to take it again. I'm not really, completely satisfied with the view on the market so far. So I'm going to, just pack my patience until I see whether we continue to trend down or we mean revert a little bit over here. So Tesla right now absolutely holding that 20 period or that 50 period on the 5, the 50 exponential moving average on the 5-minute chart. That's what I mean by that. And it's making a higher lows. They've been successively higher lows all morning long with that flat top at around 203. Sure, we got above 203 into 203.20. However, the closing prints exclusively all below that 203 level. So we're dancing right now, not triggering any of my orders, either on the breakout trade through that 10 penny level or on the dip trade to defend the 50 exponential. So we'll see what we get, and we won't get upset with TSLA. Now, let's talk a little bit. I might get triggered here to the high side as it holds 201. So if that comes in, we'll see. Some of the other small cap gappers today that we've got on our watch. Lucy, L-U-C-Y, absolutely great day today for Lucy. Great chart. right now looks like, you know, absolutely putting in higher highs and higher lows, so we'll see there. All right, so I did get triggered into Tesla here, so now it behooves me to put in my stop. Now, I do have a DCA that I want, that I absolutely like at that level because of the 50 exponential, so I'm not canceling that. So what I'm going to do is going to take a beak wetter at 25s. We'll see if we get up there. We just moved up into 25s, scaled back pretty quick. We'll see what we get. I'll leave that one to work because I think this one is going to take a little bit of time to do its thing. So we're just going to let that one work. Lucy's, as I mentioned, moving to the high side around 60 pennies. Let me put that on my side chart, actually, so I can have eyes on it. It's up 80% at the moment at that 60 penny area. Having trouble, though, sadly, with 60. CMND breaking down now below the volume-weighted average price. I was really looking for a pre-market high hold at this level at around 186, 190. It didn't end up coming in and it ended up breaking down and holding off the 50. Again, I don't know what's going on with the 50 today, but for whatever reason, it's being used here on the market. Did I get filled on Tesla? Not yet, so pack your patience. All right, QSI, another good one here, about 14.33%. This one, a penny stock and light on volume. The chart looks good, though, but becoming awfully consolidative here between 106 and 109. So I let that one go. This is the one that I've really got my eye on, though, and I think this one may have a shot and is actually respecting areas of support and resistance. Look at all these bottoming tail candles through VWAP into the previous area of resistance there, into the open. NNE, what a great look on NNE here. Go Tesla. There we go, baby. We're printing big here on Tesla as it breaks through the $0.50. Happy with this trade. Again, you know, just basically saw that off the 50 exponential, and that's really the crux of this trade. No other reason other than higher lows and respect for the 50 on TSLA. Simple as that. Anyway, back to NNE. Great respect here between this stock and the volume-weighted average price, as well as a previous area of resistance. Look at this move up here at 930. We get into that 1950, 19.25, huadunk, back into 17.5. But boom, shoot up into 22. Lo and behold, though, when we do retrace, and the retracement was coming, it's a small cap gapper, we hold VWAP and we hold that 19.25, 19.5 level. This is a good one, guys. But remember, with these small cap gappers, they're around for a good time, not a long time. Make sure you're wetting your beak where appropriate and do not overstay your welcome because, again, they're not around for a long time. Now, the deets on this one, 4.33 million shares on the day traded. It's an $865 million market cap. The float is about 15.5 million shares. And let's find out the short float here and shout out to Nas Boss and his crew. NNE, it does not have a short float according to Trade Ideas, or they just don't have it. So no data to give you on that one. But that's my look, looking at NNE for small cap gappers. That's my favorite there.
Yeah, NNE has been, yeah, it's been a nice little look there for sure. AMD. Okay, AMD right now is aggravating me. I couldn't think of it, a letter word that starts with D a little bit. But no, so if we keep bouncing here off that 163, I'm really, okay, yeah, this is where we go. I was looking for something different here in the book. We are fluctuating wildly here at this level. So this is where I just want to see what we do. I want to see this 163.15 because this has been an interesting level. I did add to the trade initially. We were rejecting that 162.88 really nicely. I just want to see what we do here. One more test of 163. If we bounce here, that's obviously going to be an issue. But I liked that short. I just do not like the support we're kind of finding here at 162.50. I did, like I said, I added to the position. I had my reason for adding to the position. It's all good there. But yeah, this is too bouncy for my like. I don't want to get on that trampoline as a short. Happy I did into it. Happy I tried it. Very happy with my profit taker here at 162.60. And happy I got it where I did. If you want to break 163 again at AMD, holler at me. I was tempted to go short NVIDIA. I'm so happy I didn't because I saw something on the book that I didn't like. I said, Adara, you love that 126.40 level just because you're seeing topping tail candles doesn't mean you're also not seeing that support still hold up. So I'm very happy I didn't go short. Wish I had gone long instead, but you know what? It's all good here. I have no plays on NVIDIA as of right now. If we keep rejecting, like if we make a lower high here, 126.20s, whatever, that could be interesting for me. Like I said, I like that 126. I like whole dollar levels. I like VWAP breaks, etc. But this candle's a little bit too bullish for me to try to come in with my little red scarf to use a weird bull and matador analogy there. So interesting. Look, I want to shout out your Tesla though.
Oh, thank you.
Because you had that Cybertruck.
I want to get right back in. I want to get right back in Adair because it came right into my level, into 60s, bounces off the 50 period again, guys. and puts another bottoming tail candle. But I want to make an observation. So I scalped it on Tesla. However, I'm seeing a distinctly different pattern right now between Tesla and some other of these Mag 7 names. Let me make my point. I'm seeing double bottoms on a lot of other Mag 7 names, and I'm seeing a possible double top come in on the Cybertruck over here. Case in point, look at the dead one. It's exactly Tesla flipped upside down. Double bottom at 213 3/4, 50-ish area. You get the general area here on AAPL. Exactly the opposite on Tesla, where we have two double tops into 203. We know the real resistance level is 203. The wicks go into that fifth of a dollar. Fine, let them go. But the closing prints, the real prints, go below that 203 level. We also have very skewed double bottoms with some other ones. Look at Amazon. Even though it has a longer or a lower right side of the W than does the left side. Look at Meta, a little bit different. It's got its right side a little bit higher. Softy, same thing. Google, same thing. So I'm seeing a little bit of, difference in the pattern here. Now, what does that mean to me? What do I do with that information? Am I theorizing that it's all over for Tesla on the day and we retrace here while the other Mag 6, for example, are all gonna, break the neckline of the W and go higher? I don't know. I need confirmation. And the only way to get confirmation is to break that neckline in the middle part of the W is what I mean by the neckline, and to print higher highs. In Apple's case, it's gonna have to be a print above that 215.5 for me to say, yeah, that was a double bottom, and now we've cleared it. It's gonna have to break this level here. To me, even though, these letters are never as clear as they are when you write them, this is a pretty good W with this being the middle part of the W. So if Apple continues to run 215.50, we'll see what we get. We won't get upset, but right now, it is Tesla holding up at that 50 exponential with higher lows and bottoming tail candles showing you the importance of this level to traders intraday, at least, that the 50 exponential featuring today on Tesla there.
Yeah, AMD. So I want to, the reason I got out of this AMD, like I said, we broke above that 163 in a way I didn't like, so I stand by that. I was willing to enter if we broke back below 163, and AMD was like, no. That's okay. We're still rejecting that 163.30. That's something for me to note. But also, we do have some support here at 162.60, so it'll be interesting to see if we can break that. Right now, we're dipping. I think the lowest we were at when I was at, we broke below that. That's all good. Missed my opportunity to reshort it. Where's the next trade? As Obi says, that's certainly a mindset I need to get into. NVDA. Oh, I see you. I see you. Okay. If NVIDIA wants to bounce off VWAP, I have zero qualms. I am qualmless. Look at the book. We get to 88s, and NVIDIA's like, yeah, I mean, cool, I will bounce. So that's fine. I'll risk this into, we'll give it 70s. That was an area I liked on the way down. So let's see. I want us to hold 80s. If we can't hold 80s, I'm not going to rush into it. But I definitely have a better read in NVIDIA than I do at AMD right now. So I want to be able to trust that. To be clear, it's not like, the AMD trades were like life scarring or anything. I'm pretty sure and flatten them. But the point is, you have to have the tickers that you trust. And I trust, the book, in terms of what the book's saying to me, as Neil and Obi were talking about. Right now, the book on NVIDIA is a lot more interesting to me. I don't want to get involved in either direction yet, but there's something brewing, like a little pot of tea, boiling over. Also, shout out to Big Spile Burdett, saying that he was looking to short the SPY, shout out to Big Kyle, at VWAP. We did not get to VWAP. We got to the 90 MA. I wish I had my eyes on this. I had my little SPY short earlier. I was happy with that. But look at this 548.10. Look at that. Sometimes chart patterns aren't going to matter on the futures, but the SPY was like, it does to me, okay, Adara? It matters to me. Because look, we had this little chop and turn chop at 955. We come into this area. That's why I took it short, that 548 rejection. Come right back up. We bounce. Oh. Okay, I see you too.
Semi-chair pushback. A
little bit of support. Yeah, it's a half back. Then, like football.
Halfback, I love it.
And then we come to reject, I told you, I know CFL. Then we reject this 548 area here again. So 548 on the SPY, I definitely need to be more aware of. NVIDIA, I see you. AMD, I'm not going to be able to get back on you right now, but let's wait and see what we do. These markets have been so fun. IWM also having a low of daybreak, perhaps, by chance. I love those. And the Russell's something might be rustling over there. So hopefully we can hustle.
We should tell everybody, too, that today's the Russell rebalancing day. A lot of the traders not here because they're saving their risk for that trade. Are you guys doing something for that today? You don't have to tell us what you're doing, but is the floor doing a rush trade? There's, Ob says there could be potential opportunities and stuff. There's opportunities all day, guys. The Ob, the one, the Canob, you guys know.
Also vote for tickers.
Yeah, I promise I'll get to that in 1 second. But today is the Russell rebalancing day. Ob sat down beside me today, and he's like, the IWM is doing, basically higher volume in the pre-market than typically would. And I looked at my calendar, and it said Russell rebalance. Talked to Wainers in the back, and he was setting something up for that as well. So, guys, Russell rebalance day. Keep that in mind. I don't know if you guys trade it, but yeah. Now, perfect time to tell you guys to join. You got to vote for your favorite ticker. Otherwise, the Ob, the one, the Canob, and the Neil will not cover it. Make sure you're influencing your friends in the chat to vote your way, because only the top 5 make it on, guys. Whether you want to see Chewy, GameStop, whatever, get into the chat right now. Have your say every day and vote for your tickers using the prompt that I just showed you there on the screen. If you don't know what it is, Bears versus Bulls will tell you. All right, D-Loaf, I promise you I'd look at Palantir, and I will stick to my word as soon as I put in the ticker. There we go. PLTR. Here's what D-Loaf says. Palantir can get going here if futures hold. Higher lows into 250 or into 25.55. Confluence with pre-market highs too. Next level closer to 26 for a scalper. Couldn't agree more. I like the higher lows. The higher lows show you one thing, but the other thing is this obvious area top in the general 255, 250 area. Why are we not getting above that area? Well, it's been a good few days for Palantir, no question about that, getting off the lows into the mid-20s again. Let's zoom out a little bit more and do some more chart analysis over here. This 25.55, is it a previous area of importance? Yes, it is. So we did consolidate at it a bit on June 20th. We did top out there for whatever reason in the pre at 25.50 on the 21st. So interesting rounded bottom as well. Let's zoom out a little bit more though, D-Lo, see a bigger picture here. Well, all I see, my friend, are higher lows. So even though this one a little bit volatile, since the end of May, this is basically taking us to May 21st. So over a month look here on this chart on the half an hour, higher lows, higher highs. This is interesting. You're looking though from an intraday perspective. That to me is a bit of a tougher ask today, D-Loaf, unless you're looking to get in off a dip. Like look at the range per candle. They're wide. They're wide. Given the actual notional move on the day, the range per candle is quite wide. So I don't know how you're looking to play this, but intraday today is not the day for Palantir. However, I do definitely like it from a wider perspective. All right. Back to Tesla here. I'm still keeping my eye on Tesla. I'm seeing umpteen amount of bottoming tail candles come into the 50, and now we're getting a higher low on this bottoming tail candle. They're all bottoming tail candles. I will not be convinced that there is not a buyer of importance at the 50 exponential on the day. The IB low held the 50 exponential. The dip at 10:30 held the 50 exponential. Even the dang institutional prints at 8 a.m. held the 50 exponential. And we're holding the 50 exponential right now. I will not be convinced otherwise. Let's see how we can weasel away into this trade on Tesla.
Yeah, I hope you are able to weasel your way into that Cybertruck. Force them to open the doors for you, Sharif. They don't open on their own. But yeah, that
Jerome
aside.
Powell, maybe.
Pardon?
We'll get Jerome Powell maybe to help out.
Yeah, maybe. Well, Jerome Powell likes closing the door.
Yeah, a very good point.
Like
that's a good point there, Daryl.
Yeah, just to factually remind us all what happened there. That is literally one of my favorite memes in the stock market ever. I literally told people who don't know the market to check it out because it's so funny. That's not the point, though. The point is, Sharif is going to kill his Tesla trade again because he already killed that first one. And AMD, I am in this again. I did not have a good transition there. So I got back in AMD because it's about confidence, right? I was looking at NVIDIA. I was waffling between the two friends there, the two cousins. Shout out to their CEOs who are literally cousins. But I was interested in NVIDIA for long, like I said, off that 126. And AMD, I have been interested. Well, I initially tried along, but since then I've been interested in the shorts. I had levels I liked. I kept mentioning that 162.60 support. That was like pretty cray-cray for me. So that's why what got me out of that first short there. But basically decided to get back in the short when I said, Adara, we'll risk into 163s. You're seeing stuff you like on the book. We can't get above 162.80s. I end up getting involved at 162.69s.
Disney just did something very aggressive, Adara, so we have to cover this.
Yes, we do.
Disney just went down big, guys. Here it is. It just dropped like $2 or $3. It's on its way to 100 here, guys. I'm not sure what's going on. Today's Elon Musk's birthday, so happy birthday, Elon. I have no idea what's happening with Disney. I'm getting a price spike down notification from Trade Ideas, but nothing specific to what this is all about over here. Let me put it live on the side chart so you can get the actual movement, because for whatever reason, this chart is frozen. Down now 1.88%, on the way down to $100. We're very close to 100. 122 is the LOD on DIS. Again, nothing coming in right now. Brendo, there's nothing on social media. Okay, Brendo doesn't have anything either. So as soon as we find out exactly what's going on with Diz here, we'll let you know. But that just came in quite well. Look, it started dropping at around 1050. It did a bit of a consolidation here at 101.5, and then it really huadunked this last 4 minutes or so, coming down into that 100. So again, nothing right now on DIS, but we'll keep you guys apprised if anything changes there.
Yeah, this AMD is weird. It's like it'll get within a cent of where I would like to make my exit. And it's like, yeah, but I don't have to. And I'm like, well, I'm aware, AMD, it's fine, but grr. Anyways, okay, there we go. As I'm saying that, it's like, oh, you trying to like coax me? Okay, Adair, I'll prove you wrong. So there we go. AMD struggling with 162.50s for reasons I don't really understand. To me, the level earlier was 162.60. But yeah, I didn't want to get out part of it this early, but I saw that resistance. I was like, I owe it to myself to do that. Pleased as dang punch. The best flavor of punch. No, I'm joking. But what I really want to see here is a 162 break. I have no idea if I'll get it. I believe, I don't know, I guess we got to 162 earlier. I saw 162.20s, but I'm going to keep my eye out here. We do have two super chats here from Big Spile. Join Spile is his first one. So join $, P-Y-L-E. I've got to shout that out. Thank you for being very good-natured about me using a pun for your name there, Big Kyle Burdett. Thank you for your $2 super chat. Put another super chat here. Do not know if this is real. I don't think it is. I'm not good at sarcasm. But $5 super chat. Disney and Nike announced partnership on Space Jam 3. I'm going to guess that's sarcasm.
Yeah.
But either way, that's pretty funny. Thank you very much there, Big Kyle, for the super chat. Speaking of Nike, I want to shout out Neil and Obi, the Neilage and the Obi-Wanfidence there for those trades here earlier on Nike. Oh, Nike, are you flat bottom breaking? Okay, look at this bottom here with these wick and tails at 76. I know Obi and Neil were talking about the $76 level quite a lot earlier. We have this high here, this pop into 76.5, then we get 76.17s. This is on my side chart, and it might have to weasel its way into my heart.
100 broke, 100 broke, guys. It didn't even stop. It didn't even stop at 100. I got my eyes on it the entire time. It blew through that $100 level. $99.60 whatever, low 61, 62 pennies right now, trying to retrace. Sorry to interrupt you there.
Oh, it's okay.
Right back into that 100, but that was a big boy move to the downside. Still not seeing anything right now on DIS, but a lot of weakness. Look at all that blue and red coming in on the tape there. Here comes the low of day again. We print another low of day there as we try to fight to stay above that $0.00 level. A lot of selling now, down 2.5. Here we go again with that 61 penny level, and there goes that 61 penny level. Here comes the $0.50 on DIS. Still nothing coming in on my blotter. I'm willing to bet, though, this is something juicy, baby, because you don't usually get midday moves on the Disney like that. Back into that $100 level we go. A bit of a tug of war now between buyers and sellers. Here comes that $100 level. I don't see too much selling on that. I see about 40 lots, maybe a little bit more than 40 lots at that $100 level. We'll have to see if the sellers come down from higher levels to push this bad boy down a little bit. Unbelievable midday move here. Still not seeing anything on the Disney. I'm keeping my eyes peeled here, guy, or whatever the expression is. But not a good look right now for Diz.
Yeah, I'm just laughing at Tammy KB in the chat. Did Roaring Kitty post a mouse pic?
Oh!
But shout out to you, Tammy KB, that put a smile on my face. So nice look. You know, NVIDIA, you're fascinating to me. I know I'm talking to the stock guys. I apologize. NVIDIA getting all choppy and churny here at 126. You might be like, Adara, pick a lane, long or short. I can't pick a lane yet because it's just so darn bamboozling, to use a Sharifism. We get to this 126, we held 126 for a bit, now we're waffling below. The really specific level I like is 125.90 because I like to see us break below a key level and hold it. Because if we can do that, then I'm like, okay, maybe there's still a little bit of magic in the air. Also, AMD broke below 162s without me. I'm not gonna be upset, Where's the next trade, right? I'm still happy with this short. What I was doing basically was I was waiting at every 10-cent level. Can we break and stay below it in the book? If not, God of a mouse. We had a really hard, I don't know why I said that word like that. We had a really hard time breaking below 162.30s. We keep popping up to 39. Oh no, we go back down. 30, oh no. So I got out at 39s for the rest of the position, got out half at like 50s. Pleased as punch with this. I'm aware I could have stayed longer, but that's not my trading style. I've said this a lot. I have the horrific tendency to bag hold when I stay in positions for longer, and I would not like to hold a bag unless it's like a nice little, like, I don't know, Gucci purse or something. No, I'm joking. But I don't want to bag hold these trades. Pardon?
No, you're not.
I'm really not. Yeah, there we go.
I don't know if this is it. So I don't want to.
Well, he's pals with pelts. So that
well, this came out on the 28th at 11:20 a.m. I don't know, man. Elon Musk slams Lucasfilm's president for being. No, this ain't it, guys. This ain't it. We're gonna keep our. I'm looking on the internet. I'm looking everywhere to see exactly what's going on. But here comes that $100 level again. We're fighting right now to get back above a buck. Let's have a look at the book. Is their size moving down to push this bad boy back down? I don't see any size, whether moving up with the bid or moving down with the ask. I personally don't see it. So a bit of tug of war happening right now at that $100 level. I want to see exactly what happens here. Is this just a nice retracement on the way back down? We often see this, right? We saw it here when it was trending down. Retrace, Huadunk comes in. It's just about where we get back into. So keeping my eye on Disney here. Let's load it up on the 5-minute on the side chart to keep an eye on this one. We're well below any sort of moving averages on the 5. You'll have to trade this on the 1 if you want to use moving averages. The 10 exponential on the 5 right now is at a 101 right now, 101, and we're at 125. So we're far removed, really, from anything here in terms of 10 exponential. All right, Ram just sent me something. Let's have a look at what Ram sent to see if it's...
she's so good at finding news.
Yeah, she's quite good. Here we go. Where is it, Ram? Is this it? Magic Kingdom had no choice but to turn away hundreds of Disney guests as its brand new opening day attraction sold out of virtual queuing in seconds, setting new historical record. Well, yeah, that's kind of good and bad, right? Yeah. Like the fact that they had a lot of demand, not good that they couldn't fulfill said demand. So again, thank you, Ram, for that. We'll keep an eye out on any news right now, but I'm still keeping an eye on Disney because I want to see if this thing mean reverts, whether or not retraces back or we take this this little pop-up off that 99.5 right back down to where it came. So keeping an eye on this one. Right now on the 5-minute, though, Disney put in a bottoming tail hammer candle. This is the 10. Let me show you the 5 on DIS. This is the candle that just formed on DIS right over here. Most importantly, though, the subsequent candle does not make a new high. So there seems to be a bit of a seller at this $100.41 level. You have 141 over here high, 141, 101.42 high. Sorry, Guy, get it together, bro. 141, 142, and it's coming right back down again. So there does seem to be a seller on DIS in the low 40s. I didn't see that reflected on the book. It reflects more on the chart. Let's see if we can get something from that information. Let's put in a short on DIS, possibly at that level, and see if it comes right back in to defend it there.
Yeah, shout out to a song we were talking about a little while ago in the market recap. So I think back to Wednesday, NVIDIA's being a monster. Shout out to Nicki Minaj, Jay-Z, Kanye, Rick Ross, Bon Iver. But that aside, this NVIDIA, I was talking about this long. I don't know if I was talking about it, but I was interested in it long, at least internally, from the fact that we held this 125, 30-ish, 20-ish area. This is a level I have been deeply interested in going back a few days now. So this long, once we saw that VWAP bounce, I said I was very curious. And then I said, Adara, why are you waiting for your 88s? Just as long as we stay above 88s, you can stay in the position. So I did do that. We do have a little bit of a topping tail candle that I don't love, but the reason I added to the position was because at that time we were holding 126.20 like a glove. I'm going to be keeping scalping in and out of this, as is my nature. We're going to take the next set out at 42s, which is, shout out to 42s. That was just a level that I liked, so we're going to be getting out there. If we can't get back above 126.20, which was that area we struggled with a bit, not going to necessarily love that, so we're going to keep an eye on the book. As I always do, I am an avid reader when it comes to, I mean, life, I wish I could stay awake more to read. But when it comes to, yeah, the older I get, the less I can stay awake to read. It's kind of disappointing, but that's not the point. NVIDIA, you better not disappoint me. Stay above that 126 and I'll be pleased as punch. There we go, nice little bounce at 126. I don't want to add to this position right now. I'm okay with the fact that I added before. We'll have to see though, because this NVIDIA could get a little bit, go a little bit haywire. It could be, instead of wah wah, it could be wong wong. Shout out to Jensen Huang. But yeah, that was really, really, really lame. But hopefully this NVIDIA trade won't be. And shout out to Sharif for the mean reverse in Disney. He's taking that house of mouths. Yeah.
No, we took it short. We took it short. We already wet our beak on some profits. Let's see if this one continues down. I've got another beak wetter there in the 60s. We're short at 92s, already de-risked a little bit here in the high 70s. Let's see if we can get that continued move down on DIS. Let's see, here we go, 79, showing a little bit over here. A bit of a buyer coming in, to be expected at these levels, I guess, right? So we'll pack our patience here with Disney. Brendo telling me here could just be a nasty algo, low liquidity tank. Absolutely. The stock is flat on the day. Major news expects a couple of percentage moves at least. Shout out to Brendo. I mean, we never really know exactly what's going on here. We're going to give you the price action regardless of what's going on. But, you know, as technical traders, I mean, personally, I just like to know that there is a catalyst and then we can just trade. The importance or the veracity of the catalyst really is not what I'm assessing here. I just want to know that there is one. And right now, there's none. So we're going to have to pack our patience with that one. Disney, though, finding a little bit of support here. I'm going to have to pack my patience with this trade to get the next beak wetter. What else is moving on the side? Keeping my eye here on Tesla, which now broke decidedly below that 50 exponential on the 5. Here's a look on TSLA and getting a bit of a doji candle here. Looking, though, to bounce off that $200 level. So comes in to that $100 level, and it does a bit of a doge right there, a candle of indecision. And this candle hasn't decided whether it wants to make a newer high or a newer low. Right now, just keeping my eye on Tesla, see if there's anything that we can do. Go Disney, wow. All right, down goes Disney into the $0.50. The tank is real, it's fast, it's furious, it's coming back down, guys. Now 2 3/4 on DIS. Very happy with this trade.
Yeah, can I say I'm pleased as punch for you?
Thank you,
Adara. I am. There we go, yeah. Sharif said to Disney, he's like, you know, move over, Mickey Mouse. I'm the new guy in charge. You said, what's up, Bob? That's what you did. Shout out to Elon Musk, whose birthday it is. He said, hi, Bob. That's what he said to
Hello,
Disney.
Bob.
So shout out to Sharif. Puns aside, though, I'm seriously so happy for that trade for you, because that was amazing. You killed it. You came, you saw, you conquered, and you took Disney for a little jaunt to the downside. NVIDIA here, you're gonna make your girl go crazy on a Friday. Come on, man. This NVIDIA 126.30 is just bamboozling. To be fair, it kind of makes sense. We had a little bit of resistance with that area earlier. I got 40% of the position out at 33s, and then NVIDIA back to the downside. I'm staying in this. I have no reason to leave right now, but man, NVIDIA, my impatience will get the better of me if you do not your way up above 126.30 with a bit more viciousness, a little bit more vigor, because this is getting a bit stressful. You've now put in not one, but two. I need to stop talking to the stock. But NVIDIA's put in not one, but two topping tail candles here. We're still above the 90 EMA, yada, yada, yada. I know my price is a lot higher now. My average is kind of meh, because I did add to the position and then got out of the rest of it. But I mean, I'm okay with this right now. My book reading skills, my spidey senses are telling me I want to leave, so I am going to leave. You have to trust yourself a little bit here. I would rather get out. Yeah, there we go. If we come back and bounce, I'll get back in the trade, but I was just not feeling good about NVIDIA and its weird wishy-washiness with 126.30, so I decided to stick with that. Paula Blackford actually echoing what I'm saying here, saying that she's not convinced NVIDIA. Neither was I, that's why I got out. Also, guys, we have Michelle Bowman coming through. I don't know why I thought of this, but Fed Bowman, who is notably a bit hawkish, even saying, hey, I could see a rate hike coming through at 12 p.m. Then we got Daily at 12:40.
Daily was dropping hot lines this morning on Squawk Box anyway. No, she wasn't. She's in Europe. at the Ideas conference. What is it? What's
with
the
Andrew
conference?
Sorkin outside.
What is that conference? Do you remember the name of it?
Do not.
I forget the name anyway. There is some sort of conference right now. Some heavyweights over there. Guys, here is the look. It looks like the Cybertruck may be headed down. It is now below $200. And if I had to guess, this one may be headed down a little bit more. Low of day right now, 198.58. That is the implied balance low that printed right at the open there at 9:30. And then it rocketed up in the next candle above 201.5, 201 and 2/3. It is doing bottoming tails right now, but it bamboozled me earlier with its umpteen amount of bottoming tails into the 50. So there was definite respect with the 50 today, but the sellers overwhelming buyers pushing this bad boy below the 50. Are the sellers strong enough, though, to push the Cybertruck lower than the 200 on a closing basis? Alas, not yet. All the prints below 200 right now are on a wick basis. No closing print south of that 100-point level quite yet. So keeping my eye on Tesla. Simultaneously, I'm keeping my eye on the dead one. And the dead one continues to print lower highs. Start from the IB high right here at 9:30. And every successive high has been lower than its predecessor, despite the fact that we keep finding support at the whole $214, multiple troughs into that 214 level though. However, the lower highs, are more important in my humble estimation than this 214 hold, because it is a bit of a descending wedge. If we do get the break of that descending wedge, well, we all know what that turns into, and that turns into a flat bottom break. I want to stay silent there to troll Ram.
I know.
I decided not to, Adara.
Ram.
Yeah, well, that's okay. So we're possibly, no, because you always complain that when we hit the flat bottom break animation, we stay silent. So I want to be staying silent just to, to bug you, Ram, because that's the way it is around here. But anyway, 214, a line in the sand today for AAPL. I don't know how long that stays. If this double bottom, not even double bottom anymore. It looks like more like a descending wedge. Unless we get that break of that 215.50, this ain't going to be a double bottom in my book. But here we go again, coming back into those highs, the local highs, I should say, that 214 and 3/4. I've been looking at this area, 214 and 2/3, 214 and 3/4, not just from the technical or not just from the moving average perspective, but from the price action resistance. Look at this trough over here that we put in at 10:30 and 10:25. That bottomed out essentially on a closing basis at 214 and 2/3. We're now flipping and using that 214 and 2/3 as a level of resistance, previously support. We'll have to wait and see if we can get above the volume weighted average price at that 214.80-ish. But really what I'm looking for is a break above 215.50. That may take a while though. All right, let's look at the small cap gappers because we kind of just dropped those and started looking at some other stuff. Guma is back. GME, is this thing moving or is my chart? Oh, okay, it's right back. Right back near the day's high, printing 25.83. The day high was 26.07. So GameStop up 3%. Again, Roaring Kitty yesterday tweeting or Xing a picture of that dog, kind of implying something about Chewy, bark, or woof. We don't really know. Likely Chewy, based on the fact that Ryan Cohen was the CEO, or is the CEO, I don't know, of Chewy and also of GameStop. Yeah. Ram, thank you. Ram.
Oh, exact colors.
Whoa. I had to push back my chair there, bro. You have no idea what Ram just told me. She's like, I'm giving you analysis from a graphic designer. She's talking about herself. She's like, let me tell you, he used the same colors. Baby. He used the same colors, apparently, as the dog in Chewy was the one that, similar colors to the one that posted by the Catman yesterday on X. So we'll have to obviously keep an eye on it. GameStop, though, decent move here, 25.83. We'll see if this one keeps going to there.
Yeah, shout out to kittens and animals everywhere here. Roaring Kitty there with the dog. Also, Amazon. I am not, I'm not the Amazonian. I am not often in the zone or in the zone. But, I mean, to me, this is a great look at this 196, okay? We have this 196 chip chop. I wanted to take this short at 196.40. I wasn't on it enough. That is on me. I cannot complain. I was having fun with NVIDIA, but that's not the point. The point is, I saw this short. I saw us kind of have this Whoa, okay, Amazon,
Whoa.
break close of day.
Get
break
it.
close of day, Amazon. Please this punch. I obviously wanted more shares. I was going to build into the position. Amazon's like, yeah, you're not going to. That's fine. Here we go. I want to take some out here. We keep bouncing here. Let's try to get 47s, 40K. Finger, please cooperate with what I'm trying to type here. 47s, we're gonna get part of this position out there. I am pleased as punch. You know what? I'll have very little shares left once this get filled, but I do want to have a little bit of, some profit secured. Want to secure that bag. Don't want to be a bag holder. That 60s area was really interesting to me. If we come back to 60s reject, I'll add there. That's fine. I don't need my 75 print. I like my 75 print, but that's neither here nor is it there. So look at that. And if there's Amazon, GME, Chewy, any tickers you want to look at, you go in the chat right now and you go right there and you go to vote.
Yes.
Exclamation point, join, space, $, whatever ticker's your fancy. GME, AMC, Amazon, NVIDIA, blah, blah, blah. Google, Apple.
There we go.
Words.
Words.
You'll go in there right now and you'll put those stickers in the chat. Amazon, if you want to break 195.40, I think you know what beverage I would be as happy as. It'll punch.
Get it, Adara. Great. I think that's a great trade, Adara. And it kept rejecting off that 10 exponential on the 5. I think you have a solid trade there. And you know what I'm going to say.
You hope I print?
Hey, there you go. You know.
I don't have to hope you print on Disney because I know you
print
do.
animation. I think that would be pretty cool.
But yeah, I don't even have to hope that Sharif printed on Tesla and Disney because I know he did.
Oh, that's nice. All right, let's have a look at some of the other ones moving. This is what I was telling Adara here. This is the green line is a 10 exponential on Amazon, and it just keeps rejecting over and over and over again. So great trade there. Let's keep an eye on Apple. It's right back into 214. Uh-oh, are we getting a bit of a range trade here on the dead one? All right, all right. She didn't do a pushback. She did a move up this time, right? She found out about the range and she leave for it. I love it. There's always good times on this test. No question about it. Yeah, 214 seems to keep bouncing here on AAPL. So I keep looking for a breakout or breakdown trade. Maybe that's the wrong look, right? We can trade it as a range. It doesn't have to be a breakout or breakdown trade. So let's see what it does on this attempt at 214. It's below 214 right now, but it's done that a bunch of times anyway. So we'll see where the buyers step in. It probably behooves me to look at the book to keep an eye on where the sellers are showing up.
Bless you.
Bless you, Ray. I'll keep it down over there. But keeping an eye on the size, on the bid, on the ask. I'm not seeing anything at these levels, so nothing really interesting me here in terms of a level 2. I'm keeping an eye on the tape as well to see if there's big boy size coming in, whether they're printing green, red, blue, or yellow, because that means something specific. Nothing really happening except that it's just bouncing above 214 again. I think if I get in here, I can really give this one a tight stop below 97s or something. Bless you again, Ram.
Bless you.
So let's see what we get here. Yeah, this is definitely a range. I'll pack my patience. Vin, with Sharif, you don't need sound effects. Oh, baby, I can do whatever sound effect you like.
Yeah.
I'm pretty good.
You're good at vocal mimicry, though. Even because I know the way he does the OBO boys are weirdly accurate. He can do the. He's so good at vocal. He does a really good Jim Parsons that well, which fits, which makes sense because you love that show.
I love that show.
I just want to show you right there.
I appreciate you there. Day trader cut Fed Bowman in 5 minutes. Yes, sir. We are all aware of that. Thank you very much for reminding. It probably appropriate for us to look at the economic calendar, although Adara does a fantastic job throwing that into the watch list every day. So, Fed Bowman at 12, as we know, keeping a lookout here for anything. A lot of oil stuff coming in. Baker Hughes oil rig count coming in at 1 o'clock. Keeping a look here. Anything else? No, these are all commodity stuff. Nat gas, soybeans, silver, copper, aluminum. These are all commodity reports coming out a little bit later. Nothing really to report to you guys except Fed Bowman in about 5 minutes. Thank you for that. Nick W., can you look at now? Absolutely. Nick, so
we can look at it now.
And I'll look at it immediately, right now.
Yeah.
So let's go NOW. What is this stock? I don't even know what this is.
ServiceNow.
ServiceNow. Thank you. Wow, 157 billion. Yeah, man. I keep forgetting this company's huge. All right, let's put in the ticker and then talk about the technicals. So first and foremost, we're going to start out with the daily, so we can figure out exactly what kind of trend we're involved in. So we just printed all-time highs not that long ago. into the early part of. What the hell is happening there? Rammer, play that again. Rammer, do it again.
That's Ramin and
What
Fabian.
is that?
I can confirm
What
that
is
Statler
that,
and
bro?
Waldorf are Ramin and Fabian.
Unreal. I love it.
100% confirmed.
Anyway.
That was the idea.
She said. Okay. All right, Rammer.
Love it.
$817 seems to be that high that we put in February. We did tank, it looks like, here on earnings back at the end of May. Great recovery off that 640 area and right back into that consolidative area that we've been at on service now for a while, a little bit below 800. So it's a good look from a daily chart perspective. We're well above the COVID highs. So it's not one of those COVID stocks that, may not ever see those highs again. Let's keep an eye on that. Let's go to the 50-minute here. Okay, so great local trend. At least since the 20th of this month, it's been consecutively higher highs and higher lows. So this one obviously trending back from the earnings miss at late May. Look at this. This is a monthly picture here. And as you can see, it just keeps trending higher and higher and higher. On the day, I really don't have anything on it other than to say it's a fantastic trend. Intraday, I wouldn't trade it. It's too expensive and there's not enough volume. But for a swing trade, it looks fantastic. Look for a resistance at 800, as I say. You've got $13 from where we're currently trading to possible upside. So hope you print on that, Nick Dub, and let me know how it goes.
Yeah, interesting look here. Paula Blackford saying lots of bearish divergence on NVIDIA. I do not disagree, but NVIDIA really does not want any smoke below 126. It sees that 126 level, then starts coughing. It's like, I don't need the smoke. Like, having a bit of an asthma attack there. So it's not, I don't think NVIDIA wants any smoke right now below 126, but I do have eyes on this. I was going to go short when we broke decisively below the 90 MA, but NVIDIA, quickly as it can, scurries up right back above it. So this is quite an interesting look here for N to the V to the D to the A. I don't want to short it right now, but if we really flip here, the 90 MA, this is one of my favorite levels. I'll take it short. We could not get decisively above that 126.50, which is why I exited the long. But I don't want to short unless I have a lot of confidence in it. All these trades I took earlier, I really did feel good about. I had that confidence. Speaking of confidence, Amazon is making me, making my heart aflutter a little bit here. I think we could be finding a bit of a bottom for whatever reason at 40s. Again, I'm not that Amazonian, I'm not an Amazon whisperer, but I just saw levels I liked in this. And this 195.40 getting a bit dicey. I have pretty much no shares left. I'm interested in adding if we reject here at 50s. I'm aware of that bottoming tail candle. If I add at 50s, I'll get half of my position out at 195.40s because I still do think there's a little bit of a something in the water. If we get above 60s, I'm getting out. Like, I need to consistently see here these lower highs. I'm going to be watching the book on Amazon for a bit, which is ironic because they used to sell books. So accidental Amazon shout out there. That worked better in my head. But let's see here. Amazon primed to break lower. So let's see what we do here on A to the M to the Z to the N. Tesla, which Sharif was just riding that Cybertruck to the upside earlier. Now, Tesla. Tesla bouncing off 199.40. Butte. Yes, I'm saying butte. I don't know why. I'm an old man apparently now. But let's see what we do here at 199.85s. That's right. That area we had all this chop and turn earlier. I'm aware 200 would be the more normal level, but that is not the level that I'm seeing. I'm seeing this level of resistance here earlier. Fed's Bowman is notoriously bearish, hawkish. So I'm definitely interested in taking that short. But also, thank you so much to the super chat from Pablo Huise. Sorry, we didn't get to it earlier. $2 super chat. Long in STBX since the morning. Let's take a look at STBX for Pablo. STBX here, gotta be honest, there's not a lot of volume here, Pablo. We're below 20,000 shares in volume. I'm not seeing a lot here. This is a penny stock. I'll take a look at the daily chart for you. To be honest, it's a little bit harder to analyze these stocks that have very little volume on the day. On the daily chart, we have some nice support here, I guess, at that 16.8 cent level. But we do have higher lows, and I think we're also having a lot of resistance at this 21 cent level. So STBX, I want to learn more about this company. STBX here. This is Starbucks Group Holdings, and I'm going to find out a few more details here. Do you mean Starbucks or STBX? I'm trying, is Starbucks or Starbucks? Because I just want to make sure I'm looking at the right stock for someone here. Yeah, 30.4% insider owned, 35.86 mil market cap. Yeah, lower highs, lower lows here. Let me know, though, Pablo, if you meant Starbucks or STBX. So I want to make sure I'm looking at the right thing. Starbucks, though, looks like a bit of a flat bottom break on the daily chart. And let's see here how we do Yeah, on this stock. Amazon broke lower. I didn't get to add to the position, but it's all good there. Vic Novak saying Nvidia is about to choke on the smoke, so it looks like we are near. Oh, we're near 126. This might be a short opportunity. How are you doing?
I'm good. All right, I want to let you guys know that GameStop is really going, guys. High a day right now for GameStonk, 26.17. It's printing 26.12 right now, so 5 pennies off day high. Good volume coming in there. This 5-minute candle is going to look, I think it's going to close green. It's got about 500,000 shares on this one candle over here, and it still hasn't closed. Got a couple of minutes left. Keep your eye on GameStop. It's up almost 4% now, but this bad boy, ASNS, ASNS, moving big. This one started moving in the aftermarket yesterday at 4.25. Let's find out if this is an earnings winner or it's an aftermarket headline that dropped. Let me look here to see what we got in the aftermarket on the 27th. There it is. Okay. So Acetylus Network shares are trading higher after the company announced that it had received an order of over $300,000 from its new channel partner in Italy to support a national transportation infrastructure project. Okay, this company, guys, is the prototypical small cap. It's got its market cap is 11.25 million. It's done really good amount of shares on the day, most of which just came in at 11.40, just started. Look at the volume bars over here. They just started coming in. Now, it's done 17.6 million shares. The float, a hefty, a nice 4.1 million share float. Let's drag down trade ideas and see what ASNS has to offer in terms of short float. Decent, 8.16% of the 4.1 million shares is short. We broke through the aftermarket high, which was a little bit below 2.25. It was at $2.23. We're above that by about 12 pennies at 2.35. Still dancing with that 2.25 though. Let's have a look at the daily to figure out what this kind of trend is. We'll get, Neil is ready to get to it in 1 second. Obviously, this one coming off much higher highs when it IPO'd or direct listed or whatever it did back in May of 2022 is around 40 bucks. And then it did a 1-to-10 split over here to get back into the good books. And since basically the 4th of June, it's been waking up. So it had a monster outlying day on the 5th of June. I don't remember this one, but it's awoken basically since the 4th of June onwards. Keep your eye out on this one. It could move parabolically, but it does have a tendency to give back the gains that it made on the subsequent day. Case in point, June 5th and then June 6th, June 17th and then June 18th. So keep your eye out on this one. But we do now have the lesson of the day with Neil.
Welcome, everybody. Lesson of the day today. And I was hoping it's going to be a bit of a fun one, but you know, we always talk about what's your plan of action, what trade are you going to make, what stock do you like, what direction, all that good stuff. But sometimes you take that first shot, hey, this is the level I like. Maybe it's a 200 break on Tesla. Let's go into the long. It doesn't work the first time, sets right back up after you've taken a hit, and then it goes. And what I want to talk about today is when should you take that same trade the second time it sets up? When should you go back to the well? Maybe you're shorting the same level. Maybe you lose on a trend short and you want to go back into the trend. Maybe a stock breaks at a key price level, kind of fails the break, but then continues trending back into that level and breaks it out a second time. So I want to go over these situations where I think it makes sense, if a stock is one of your better ideas, that you listen to yourself, jump back into the trade, even if you just took an L on it. First off, it's got to be something significant. So I'm going to start with Tesla because why not Tesla 200? And why is this one significant? A, because it's Tesla. B, when you look at this consolidation on the daily for Tesla, hold that 50 forever. We don't see Tesla do this. And that local high, $199. I mean, could it be set up any better than that? Local high, $199 in the daily. You've already consolidated into it the day before. You know this is going to be a heavy trade for a lot of people looking at that $200 level. Right at the open, it makes the break, goes about $1, then immediately fails. But just look at what happens after the fact. This is your bottom on that move, 198.6. By the way, I'm going to get out of this short if it gets to 198. Previous close down here, 197.5. But if it breaks back up, holds a higher low, reclaims that 200 level, I'm willing to take multiple shots at it, get down there. If it turns, I'm probably just going to trail it here. Yeah, it's close enough to 198. I'm going to trail it to like 198.5. Sorry, guys, but in the middle of lesson, things happen. And you've got to be able to make that adjustment when it does. So I'm going to trail this to 198.5. We're getting a little bit heavy here. And I don't want this bid to get caught as the futures are right at that bottom and might make a bounce. So anyways, I've now trailed it to the half, and I'm going to hold for that actual close price of yesterday. But when you talk about that hold of a higher low, it's significant because of the 200, because of the big level on that daily chart, and then it's that second shot. If it fails the first time, you've probably got a lot of those weaker hands out of the trade, right? So if it's going to go this time, you maybe trap some shorts, A. B, you've got a lot of other people that took that original long, not clogging up the offer to scalp out of it. So it's a clean move right back into that high. Now, it doesn't just work with longs or shorts or something that's in the right direction. This is a clean breakout and a stock trending up. But I'll give you an example of going against the trend where sometimes you've got to get in that second time. So I said Micron after earnings, I wanted to be short into 137. Earnings drop, 137 high, turned in because it was previous support. So it was a big support level. I can go back further, and that would be a support level. Turns into resistance. I know where I would want to short. I wasn't trading yesterday to short that level, so I'm thinking shorts into there. If it fails 135, fine, but the bigger level is going to be that 137. It comes in, shows some resistance at 35. I jump into the short on a consolidation lower. I get wicked out. Now, if I like the short in the stock, I know the reasons in the higher time frame post earnings why I want to be short this name. What happens is it wicks me out, then you get another even bigger rejection. So at the same price level that I want to be short, and I think the stock is a short, it's going to make another break of the high, but an even bigger wick and a bigger rejection candle. If you like this position and you like this idea, this is a better setup than that. Because it's trapped a breakout long. The same reason why Tesla was so good. It's trapped that breakout long. Tesla, I'm trailing this again another dollar while Tesla's really falling. Bounce, just held. All right, I got to go to Tesla. Let's go to Tesla for a second. So Tesla just made a bounce. And of course, I just typed TLSA. You guys just saw me do it live. Oh, you got to be kidding me. I haven't made that mistake in a while, but it happens. Things can happen. Absolute flush city on Tesla, right into previous support. I'm not saying I'm going long, but this is kind of that spot. Once you're into that double top area where I'd be looking for a bit of a bounce play, and the futures are going to get to 20,000. Sorry to cut any trades happen in the middle of the day here while we're even doing the lesson. So just to finish the thought on Micron for everybody, look, it's a better short setup here because it's not a consolidation short. This is an absolute made the level, failed the breakout, and then immediate retrace. It's a better short, play it into VWAP. As a matter of fact, now that I look at it, the same thing happened, and I went to Tesla instead of back to Micron. Fair enough. But same thing happened, shorting a pop, doesn't work. I end up getting out of it here when it breaks out, but I could have just jumped right back in on this breakdown. Sometimes you can love a price all you want. You can love a trade, you can love an idea, you can love a direction, all of that good stuff. But there are going to be situations where it could be market makers that are running stops. It could just be bad luck. It could be economic news or something on the futures happens while you're in that trade that just gets you out of it but doesn't really ruin the setup. Now, instead of sitting in there and holding the trade and saying, I'm just going to hold it through 35 and wherever it happens to turn, it turns. I'm just going to hold on to the trade. You can get out and get back in. There's nothing wrong with that. Because if I like a short to 137, I don't have to hold 135 to 137. I can get out of the trade and look for either an opportunity back in at the same price area or maybe a little bit higher, maybe 136. Maybe I have to short underneath VWAP. I could miss this entire trade, wait for it to do that, and then take this short if I like it trend short to the downside. There will be other chances. And if you stay alive, you just need a chip in a chair. Now, Tesla, ideally, when it broke this trend to the downside, I probably should have shorted it here, not here, but that just goes to the same point. There will be other opportunities. You miss and it doesn't work the first break, Be willing to take it if the same setup presents itself. The market does not care whether you won or lost on your previous trade. It doesn't know. It's just whatever's going to happen is going to happen. So if you see a positive expectancy trade, you take that trade. That is what you're supposed to do as a trader. If something sets up for you that works for you, you should be in the trade regardless of what happened 10 minutes ago. And it might be the same stock at the same price area. So it's okay to have a stop. There's nothing wrong with losing on a trade. The cost of doing business is going to be that. But if it sets right back up at that same price and everything about it is just as good or maybe better, you've got to get locked and loaded and get right back in that chair and make that trade. So sometimes you get it the first time and it works. That's the easy way. Other times you need to go right back into the well when that trade is there for you. So don't be afraid to take it again. That's your lesson of the day. Let's go, Tesla.
Great trade there, Neil. That was fantastic. What a drop there, and covering live for you on Neil's lesson of the day, guys. Make sure to check out.
Neilage.
Yeah, dropping Neil. Make sure to check out Neil's lesson of the day every day around noon. Dropping hotlines, eloquent, informative, and awesome as always, guys. Neil Roberts. All right, let's get to the Hwadunk that manifested on the futures and the Meg 7 while Neil was dropping hotlines. Yes, I'm talking about you, Tesla and NVIDIA, including you as well in this Meta, because we dropped nicely there on the futures. Did hold, though, the IB low. Bless you, Ram. And yesterday's closing print on the NQ September contract. That takes us down into 20,039. Lo and behold, this candle comes right into that level up, maybe a skosh, a point or two above it, and right back up we go again. So keep your eye on yesterday's closing print on the NQ September contract, still marginally green on the day. However, the same cannot be said for the majority of the Mag 7 names. In fact, most of them are red. Meta, Amazon, red on the day. Goggles, red on the day. Microsoft now red on the day, a little bit above, a little bit below. Apple, Tesla, and that's it. Apple and Tesla and NVIDIA are the green ones on the day, but barely. Now, I've set up a dip trade on the dead one, Apple, to take a 214 long. You know, it's make or break time here for Apple. It's either going to flat bottom break or range me into a coma, because quite frankly, it's rejecting off the 20. That's been my observations. Initially, there was love for the 15. Now there seems to be rejections off the 20. We just got another rejection off the 20 as it gets a lot closer to the price action, and where the 20 period exponential is and where yesterday's closing print on Apple is getting awfully close together. So it either breaks 214 to the bottom or curls back up above the 20 on a closing basis, maybe to touch the volume weighted average price at the $0.75 level. So keeping my eye on Apple. I've already set up said dip trade. It's already there. Tesla also finding support, lo and behold, at yesterday's closing print, 197.50-ish. Low 40s, it looks like here, was the closing print. Alas, we do get into that level. We print 22s, and now we're back up into 93s. Look for a possible rejection near that IB low at 198.50, 198 2/3. TSLA, great day, but now just up 1/3%. Broke through that 200, though, for the first time in a while. It does look like a very bearish day. We all saw Adara's amazing short on AMZN. It continues to print lower, Adara, after having multiple great days to the high side. Looks like some profit taking coming in here on the Zon. Meta as well. Meta had a fantastic day yesterday, really got into that 520s again since the earnings dump that we had that took us down to 400. Looks like more profit taking today on the Zuck train. 523 high there in the pre. Now we're talking about $10 lower at 513. Alas, keep your eye on this area. This is the IB low on META. We are right there. If this is going to double bottom, at least for a scalp, because we know there were buyers hanging out around here. That's why the price went back up. Are those buyers still there at 513.5, 513 3/4? Whatever. You know, Meta's super spready, so 1/2 and 3/4 on that much of a different level. So I'm going to load up Meta here. I could possibly be persuaded into a scalp long on Meta.
Yeah, I mean, I have a Tesla trade I really want to talk about, but first I want to get to that super chat from Who was it there? It was going to be Pablo Huise clarifying, because he had the super chat initially saying STBX. He actually meant Starbucks. So sorry about that. Thank you for clarifying, Pablo Huise. $2 Starbucks super chat there. That was a nice little bull flag here. Long since the morning. I don't know where you got long here. We did have that nice bounce off 77.80s though. Now we're curling a little bit lower. Still above 78, but we're getting below VWAP. This was a great bull flag, though, but it did end up failing. Did we see any news from Fed's Bowman? I'm trying to figure out why we had that drop there.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so Starbucks right now, Pablo, we're below VWAP, but that could be just because we had the overall market drop. That's certainly worth noting. This false bull flag breakout, though, certainly interesting. Very much down in the day still. But yeah, I think if we can break back above VWAP and then get above the support level of 78.30, that could be maybe an interesting look. Let's take a look at the daily chart for any levels of resistance that could stop this one from being a grande trade. Oh, we're below. We are below the 90 MA here on Starbucks on the daily for quite some time. We tried to get this wick above it, and we had this wick above it into this previous area of resistance at 81. 81 definitely a sticking point for Starbucks. So they're going to have to like see if they can stir up that level. Those baristas, see if they can like steam up any kind of thing there on Starbucks. But what I do think is interesting is look where we had this bottoming tail candle in the day so far. That's right, that previous area we chopped and churned around like that 77.50s. I think this is an interesting look for Starbucks right now. The fact that we're below the day, the 90 MA on the daily is not great, but I do like this little baby recovery we have here, trying to bounce back above VWAP. Let's see what we do at VWAP. Thank you very much, Pablo Huise, for the super chat. Nothing there from Fed's Daily that Sharif is saying. Thank you for
Daily or Bowman?
Oh, sorry, I meant Bowman. I meant Bowman.
Yeah.
Sorry, Daily's at 1240. But yeah, Tesla, I was happy with this short. Initially wanted 198. Was not nearly aggressive enough for that. But then I said, you know, Adara, just wait, just watch. You know, plotting, scheming, getting money. Shout out to Drake for this thing, if anyone knows that reference. Maybe not there, but it's all good. I got short because I did see on the book, we were like having a hard time holding that 197.70, took a short, risked into 198. Didn't need to, but we're seeing a bit of a change in the tides there.
Ooh.
Or I guess maybe, you know, a recharging of the Cybertruck. Because we found that really nice base here. I don't know if I'd go short here unless I see something mighty fine on a mightily scalpy basis. But let's see what we get. Gonna have to clear my throat here. How's your apple going?
I just took some out, but now I'm out of the money. So now I have to decide whether I want to add, and that's exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take it long here. You okay? Yeah. I'm taking it long here, 93s now. So I'll give this to 83s for the last little bit. It's gonna have to bounce off this level. There we go. Let's put out some over. Oh! I have to get out of that. It just dipped aggressively into the 80s, so I had to get out of that super quick. But yeah, still profitable on it, so happy about that. Was able to de-risk super quick on this one, but Apple now breaking the range, guys. Looks like that 214 going for a ride here to the downside, and we're going to break it on a closing basis if this 5-minute candle closes in this way. So here we go. The Fuge breaking down below as well. Yesterday's closing print at 20,038. We're below that right now. Let me just zoom up. We're actually at 20,033, so we're a little bit red right now. There goes Apple. The IB low on Apple that we printed at 950, that low is 213.57. We're at 67 right now, so 10 pennies away from that IB low. This looks like a descending wedge. A lot of weakness right now in all the Mag 7 names. Really nobody spared from the weakness, everything down and to the right. So it is time to start shorting, baby. I'm not going to be looking for any more dip bounces here unless we get something distinctly different with the Fuge, and I'm not seeing anything like that right now. So it's now time to short. We're going to look to short the pops, at least I am, and we'll see what we get there. I was about to go long Meta too, guys. I was looking for this area hold here, possible 513 and a half-ish, 514. It's a $500 name, so, you know, at that level as support. Now everything coming right back up, but I'm not going to be fooled into this again. Right back above that 214 we go on AAPL. So bamboozlement, no question about that, but these bottoming tail candles showing there's buyers there, but the lower high is more important in my opinion. Anyway, let's flip back to some of these small cap gappers because GameStop was going again while Neil was talking. At 12 o'clock, GameStop made another newer high into 26.17. And here we go again with GameStop. Right into that volume-weighted average price at 25.55, and it finds support right at VWAP. Last time around, We dipped into VWAP at 11:10 about an hour and 10 minutes ago. We bounced off the 50, but the closing print, most notably, was above the volume weighted average price. And right now, you move up 10, 15 pennies above that VWAP. So it's holding VWAP right now. Could be a double top. I mean, you hate to see these topping tail candles like that because it just shows so much selling coming in at that level, at that $26 level. But hey, man, can you argue with the higher lows? I can't because they're still printing that way at the moment. ASNS as well, continuing to be in play up 65%. Topping tail candle, inverse hammer candle right now, it looks like at 2.5, but this one's cleared all the levels. Like I was trying to trade this one off the 5. It's just far too extended off the 5. It's got to come down. Sorry, I was trying to trade this on the 5-minute chart off the 10 exponential. That's what I meant. And I didn't even get close to getting in because it's just so extended off that 10 exponential at 2 1/5, coming it down 243 right now. It'll have to come down at least into one of these moving averages for me to get in. I'm not punching in at highs, just not how I trade. But the one that's been very calm, very stable, and very consistent in its price action movement today has been NNE. And this is like the best one that I could have traded and the one that I didn't have any trades on. We talked about this one using a previous area of resistance as support at VWAP right there. It flips to support and then it really does the dalliance with the 10 exponential on the 5. Every single print above that 10 exponential on the 5. So you've been able to get dip trades in spades if you wanted to on this one. I'm keeping my eye on ASNS, GME, and NNE. The other ones that are kind of falling out of favor at the moment.
Yeah, so I'm just staring at NVIDIA here. I have feelings about this trade. I know I usually say I'm qualmless. I have a few qualms. Not enough qualms to make me leave, mind you. I still like the look of this. I deeply, deeply abhor my entry point on this short. And I'm going to stop talking like a soap opera mom now and explain why. So why do I dislike how I entered on this? I should have had my 45 entry initially. Why did I want 45s initially? Because I come in here, we have this just beautiful, beautiful topping tail candle. That's where I should have entered. I was not confident enough. Ended up getting in where we had like 38s, which was just basically me seeing lower highs here, yada, yada, yada. I mean, I think this is probably turning. I think this might have been a bit of an error. Happy with my ad at least at 55s, but I dislike the entry here. Right now, I thought we were going to break below 40s as support. It looked like we were for a little bit. If I keep seeing these lower wicks here on these topping tail candles, I am more than fine with staying in the trade, but it's always a little bit hard when you get in at a level that is not optimal. You just got to keep going. Vikya Novak saying NVIDIA going down, hold the short. Yeah, I mean, I have to trade according to my own style and stuff, so I'll try my best. I'm not the most patient person, but I appreciate what you're trying to say there, Vikya Novak. I just do not like the way that we're kind of holding this 40s level right now. This wasn't a level I had for NVDA, so I mean, did I? No, I didn't have 123.40s. 124.40, sorry. So let's see here. If we get above 70s viciously, that is probably going to be a little bit dicey because every time we've gotten to 70 so far, we've rejected. Right now, NVIDIA continuing that here pattern. 70s was a level I did have NVIDIA in the previous days. So I'd like to see that rejection. It looks like we're coiling a little bit higher, but if you want to look at NVIDIA, Chewy, GME, Amazon, AMC, NNE, any tickers there with Obi and Neil, you go in the chat right now and you vote. You go exclamation point, space, $, whatever tickers you're fancy. AMC, GME, Amazon, I don't know what tickers. You guys know what tickers. You go in the chat right now, you vote for those tickers, and we'll have Sharif gesticulate wildly and talk at the green screen, and then we will have Obi and Neil go over those. Also, I did just get out of NVIDIA. We broke above the 80s in a way I didn't like. I can get back on the short. Like I said, displeased with myself because I should have known better to get involved in this anyway, but you got to keep going, got to keep climbing. Not going to let that get me down. Hit the P&L, so we're not going to take a look at that. I am up on the date. I don't need one trade to get in my little brain. How are you doing?
There you go. We just took 25 pennies as quick as you like on the dead one Apple. I should have held a little bit more there, but my finger found its way onto the flattened key purposefully this time. I can't blame the flattened key's position. This was on me. I just didn't believe in the move, and yeah, so flattened out for 25, and it just gave me another 15 or so. AAPL off that 213.50 bottom, and that was the IB low, so that's what caused me to get into it. Alas, we did break the IB low to make a new low because this one was 57s, and then this one printed 52s. So you had to be patient with this one, but it did come in and did defend that level. It's a $200 name, guys. We can't argue over 4 pennies. It's a general area. And when we talked about that week on implied balance high and low, we said very specifically that the IB high and the IB low are zones, not price levels. And so when you do take them, keep that in mind. And the the more pricey the stock and the more spready the stock, the more it'll blow through that area, but generally hold a general zone. More blow through the price, but generally hold an area zone. So that is why I got into it. And now I'm positive again on the dead one. So I'm happy about that. AAPL above 214 again. But if I had to take my guess, this one probably bleeds a little bit more to the down side at the moment. So keeping my eye on that. Now, I'm also very interested in weaseling into a trade on ASNS, but I'm going to have to do it, it looks like here, on a 1-minute basis. And here's why. It's just far too extended on the 5-minute. So this is the 5-minute look. And for me to get in, it's going to have to dip into 2 1/3. Currently, where the 10 exponential is. And the 10 exponential could move up. However, if I want to exercise a little bit more, aggression and lack of patience, then I'd be trading off the 1. Well, right now there was obvious respect for the 10 exponential on the 1 until there wasn't. And then where did it respect, if anything? Well, you can see, basically, look at it. It respected the 20. And right now, it just did another 20 respect. So the 10 and the 20, both featuring here. The deeper retracements are going to have to be ready, come into the 20. The more shallow, come into the 10. And I've showed you guys this in the past, but I want to remind you guys again, if you have chart trading features on your platform like I do, like, look, I can just drag and drop this order. The benefit of that is I can kind of shadow the moving averages. So say, for example, I want to get in on the 20. Right? So then I drag my entry at the 20 and I trigger it. Now, if it dips into the 20, I'll get triggered. And this is my sim account on my brokerage. So, I can just take this trade. Not a big deal. So that's what I want to show you guys. And it really works for me, this chart trading, because I like to get in at certain levels that are dynamic. These moving averages, VWAP, they're not static like opening and closing prices and IB highs and lows. Those are static zones in prices. Whereas moving averages are awfully dynamic, and so you want to be able to trade off them. If you do, then this chart trading option is quite cool. All right, Gorev, seems like Nike on a flat bottom break. Really? Okay, let's have a look at NKE. You want to look at it, or should I?
Oh, no, you can.
Okay, let's have a look at NKE over here for our friend Gorev. Let's have a look at Nike. Oh, you were saying flat bottom breakish, weren't you? You did. I remember you were saying that.
I did.
So Derek called it. There you go, guys. We had umpteen amount of bottoming tail candles into that 75 3/4, but that gives way, and now we're at 75 1/3 LOD. Take your pick where you want to get short. I was talking to Wainers back there, and Wainers took Sharage there at the open short, and he was printing like a printer. Yeah. Believe it or not.
Like a Xerox. That's a copy.
Yeah, whatever.
He was printing.
He was printing. So that's a look there. Nike's still melting, says Kevy82. Yeah, agree with you there, brother. I got no trades on right now, but I'm looking at Asness Adara, and it's going away from me again. This thing is on the way up. 75% now in the clear. New high of day on ASNS as it holds up above the 20 exponential yet again and puts another high of day. This one really going here, guys. And I want to remind you that this started moving in the aftermarket yesterday. So I personally would base my chart levels off that and not the pre-market highs.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I didn't realize that was taking me seconds sometimes. NVIDIA is being interesting. I want to talk about this. I had a short here, and like I said, I really should have gotten out of this way earlier because I realized I was deeply uncomfortable with my entry price, but it's all good. I got back on this short because I've said this a lot. I have a tendency sometimes to get involved, like have my stop losses at areas where should have been where I was getting involved in the first place. Absolutely what happened here on NVIDIA. So I see that we stay below that 124.90 area. So I say I get back on the short. I get back involved at that 124.75. But then I'm seeing we can't break 124.70s. I didn't like the support. Ended up scalping out of that. It's all good. I know we're breaking lower, but I stand by my decision. You have to do what you have to do. I wasn't comfortable, so I left. And I had wasn't feeling safe in that trade. But yeah, I want to see what NVIDIA does here. If we range, I mean, hey. but I don't think we're going to range. I think we had the breakdown. I think I timed the shorts poorly. Still pleased as punch with the trading today, and especially with the NVIDIA trading today. So that's no skin off my back. But look at NVIDIA bouncing off 124.50. Okay, look at you. I see you, NVIDIA. I see you. We're going to be watching this. I will purely be book watching this. I will be taking some trades on this, but I want to feel a little bit more comfortable in what I am seeing as of right now. I do think we have that 124.40 breakdown. I want to make sure I'm trading it appropriately, the levels with which I'm comfortable. But we're all comfortable with learning. So let's get to the lesson of the day.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for that segue, Adara. We're talking about average true range all week long. Today, we're really not going to talk about any more strategies. We're going to talk about some of the pros and some of the cons that this offers us. So let's get right to it. For those who have missed the lesson, you can just go onto the YouTube page, go to that tab, live videos, and you'll see how to trade. And just go back to the lessons that started at the beginning of the week. Adara and I get into this very, very deeply on a multiple trade level, whether you're using it for your stops, your profit takers, or your trailing stops. We give you exactly how to use ATR. So traders, we've explored how average true range ATR for short can be a valuable tool for intraday trading. Today, let's address a crucial point. ATR is not a crystal ball. While it offers valuable insights, it does sadly have limitations that we must understand. So we all have that, allure. We all desire to have that allure, I should say, for being quite solid with prediction, to have good predictive abilities. However, a lot easier said than done. We all crave that certainty in the ever-changing market. The average true range might seem like a magic formula that predicts the future volatility and price movements, but it's certainly not. The market is complex and influenced by various unpredictable factors. However, some of the good things that ATR is for is analyzing historical data. Here's how it helps us even without predicting the future. Number one, it helps us understand volatility, right? ATR tells us how much an instrument typically moves in a day. And this helps us gauge, for example, the market environment and choose suitable trading strategy. So when we talked about ATR and how to use it for trailing stops, and profit takers, we mentioned that there was a multiplier involved in that formula, that mathematical formula that we gave you for all three. And that multiplier is really reflective of a few things. Number one, it's reflective of how volatile or not volatile the instrument that you're trading is. The more volatile, the bigger, I'm not going to tell you how to use your multiplier. Number two, what kind of market conditions are you trading in? Are you trading in a consolidative market or a trending market? Your multiplier, your factor should reflect that as well. And number three, what kind of a trader are you? Do you like to scalp or do you like to buy and hold for longer times? That should also influence your multiplier. So when you go back, if you go back and watch those lessons, that multiplier should reflect those three factors. So understanding that, you can kind of move on to the next topic here. Realistic targets is another one of the kind of the pros of ATR. Instead of fixed profit goals, average true range allows us to set dynamic targets based on the expected daily range, leading to more realistic profit expectations, as well as more informed stop loss placement. By considering historical volatility, we can place stop loss orders that account for normal price fluctuations, preventing unnecessary exits. So I wouldn't trade Tesla with the same stop loss as I would, for example, a Google. They're just a little bit more different. Even though very similar in price, they move far differently, right? So I need to be cognizant of that with the instrument that I'm trading. And trailing stop management, very good for that as well. Combining ATR with trailing stops allows us to dynamically adjust our exit strategy as the price moves in our favor, balancing profit protection with giving the trade room to grow. And that's what we all want. You let your winners ride, you cut your losers short. So if you're going to do that, you're going to have some gauge as to know, I should be moving up my stop here, or I should be moving up my stop there without getting shaken out too early. That's kind of the move. Beyond the ATR, though, some things that it's not really good at, or some things that I should say you should be using with average true range, is technical analysis. You should be using support and resistance levels. your moving averages, as well as your momentum indicators, like the relative strength index and the moving average convergence divergence, MACD for short. You should also be combining it with fundamentals. What sector are you trading? Are you trading the banks or are you trading chips? That should absolutely influence your multiplier selection because the banks do not move like the chips. So you have to fundamentally understand the sector that you're trading before choosing which multiplier to use. And risk management, always practice sound risk management techniques like setting appropriate position sizes in addition to using ATR to gauge your stop loss placement. And remember, guys, the market is dynamic. News, economic events, investor psychology, these all cause unexpected price movements that ATR cannot account for. So even though, for example, Google, I'm just giving you a random number, has an ATR of 2 on a day when, you know, the Fed may make a surprise interest rate cut or say something that the market wasn't ready for, it doesn't matter that Google has an ATR of 2, it's gonna tank or it's gonna pop. So you have to be ready for those outlying events as well. And ATR, I'm sure people know this already, ATR is a tool, not a guarantee. It does not predict future volatility or price action. It is a lagging indicator, not a leading one. Do not use it as a leading indicator. And a bonus tip, guys, always combine ATR with other analysis methods and risk management strategies to make more informed trading decisions. Back test your strategies using historical data. If you want to go in the sim, go in the sim. If you want to, you know, just go on a chart and see if it works, go and do that. But I should let you know that Trade Ideas has a deal with Trader TV whereby you get 20% off their software, and their software, according to the NOS boss, allows you to back test as far back as 3 months. So go ahead and give that one a try if you're interested, Adara.
Yeah, definitely do. Shout out there to the boss of NOS and his lovely trade ideas. Speaking of the boss of NOS, let's look at the House of Mouse. Let's take a look at Disney here. If you want to look at Disney, which had that big old quaduk we could never explain, IWM, Amazon, SPY, any ticker, you guys go in the chat right now and put that ticker in this chat because we want to, Disney. Yeah, so sorry, whatever ticker you want to look at there, please vote for it. Or you're not going to be able to see, to have the big kahunas there, to have Sean and Obi look at your ticker. Disney here. This is why I had that pushback. Look at these little wicks here into 99.60. Look at this rejection of 99.60 at the 90 MA. This is beautiful. This is chef's kiss. I love this look. Shout out to anybody who's in this short. I know Sharif was in this short earlier. He printed up a little storm, so shout out to him. I am pleased as punch to say the IWM trade is going swimmingly. I'm really happy with this trade. I was willing to add if it got back to 80s. We are now a cool 30 pennies away from that. I got up here because we struggled a little bit at 40s. That was that previous low of day, right? Or not low of day, but basically the low here that I could see. So interesting look here. I would love a 202 break. 202 is an area I've liked in the IWM for many moons. I have a very small position left here, so I'm going to let this ride, which is not something I ever normally do. If we break up, if I see like something distinctly different here in the book or the pattern, I can shout out to Obi, then I'll have to get out. But or this 202.40 area might be interesting for me. But right now I'm trying to breathe and just stay calm. Be a Cal Burdett, $5 super chat. Down, show the fish pics, bro, question mark. I'm guessing Sharif has those. I will ask him about those when he returns. He's just going for a little walk here, but let's see how the IWM does. I am very, very happy here with this little trade. So let's see how this goes. Took out, yeah, like I said, we only have about 20% of the position left. Tesla forming a topping tail. My strategy for Tesla, although I've not been confident enough, unfortunately, to execute it enough, has been to short every topping tail candle. That looks like it's actually worked. It would have worked here and I've been aggressive enough at that at 96.50s. And just watching what I see in the book here, I know things can't go down forever, but like until I see something that tells me otherwise, the trend's my friend until the end when it bends. So with that in mind, I really do not you know, have anything, I don't want to say I don't have anything to worry about. You always have stuff to worry about. But if we keep projecting here, someone's going to go short again. That someone is going to be a Daryl Page. But Tesla was like, ha, 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 ha. Broke above that 196 viciously. IWM back at 202.50. So if we can't get down a little bit more, I'm going to have to leave that short. But I'm really happy with that. Obviously, I left my NVIDIA short too early, quite clearly, but it's all good. I took some profit
Nice,
on that. I can admit that the mental was not really there for that first trade. And NVIDIA, if you want me to short you again, your pal Tesla's getting a little hairy, so I have no qualms taking you to the short side instead. Happy with these trades. Also, Kyle Burdett's asking about the fish picks. I already read that super chat, but I didn't know what he meant about the fish picks.
Show the fish picks, bro. Shout out to Big Spile Burdette. I will do that in 1 second, but I want to show you guys this. The Neil just pointed this out to me. Look at this flat bottom here on INTC. 3090 seems to have a buyer in and around there for whatever reason, kind of setting up for a lower high. I'm going to look for a flat bottom break through that level to see if we can maybe mean revert it back into $30.69 or 59 cents, excuse me. That is the low of day. So let's put an alert below that 3090 area, excuse me. I'm gonna put it at 88. Shout out to CD Lamb and everybody there. Neil, as soon as I said it, I got the look. I love it. He doesn't want me associating CD Lamb with his stock. You know, Intel is kind of Neil's stock around here. And, you know, the fact that I may be mentioning CD Lamb in his stock is funny. Anyway, up to 98 it goes. It's holding this level. So if it breaks down, I want notifications. If it keeps trending the way it is, we'll look at it as a trend trade. But right now, I'm looking for a flat bottom break. So we'll keep an eye on that. But as Adira mentioned, and as she showed there with her short on IWM, wow, what a move down on the Mag 7. Now exclusively, all of them in red, including Netflix as well, also down 1/5. Everything now negatory land, the futures and the Mag 7 in general, all negative on the day after starting up quite positive. We did have economic numbers today. Remind me again what we had?
We had the PCE,
Thank you.
we had
PCE.
some consumer spending stuff.
Consumer
and then
spending.
we also had the consumer sentiment.
The sentiment that you brought at 9:45, I remember that. Okay, so yeah, there you go. The economic numbers, for whatever reason today, it's a bit of a sell. So I'm keeping my eye out on these names. I mean, it looks like it's going to have to be basically a short somewhere. All right, I want to show GameStop here because GameStop absolutely retraced off the top there, Ram. 2617 HOD on the way back down now into 25, trying to hold this area over here, this 2510. That is the closing print from yesterday on GameStop. It is below that level right now. It did print below 25, so that whole move down, we really give up that $26 area quite quickly. So GameStop now also negative on the day. ASNS continuing to trend, but now it broke down below the 20 exponential there. And so this one's going to be, no, I'm not going to trade this one. I had to trade it off a level off which I was comfortable. This doesn't look good to me, so we're going to steer clear of that. NNE, though, still in play. Maybe off that $20 on VWAP. NNE up 28%.
Yeah, NVIDIA. So once again, I make decisions that I just need to be more confident. I'm not confident enough, and then I get prices I don't like because I still do think NVIDIA is a short. That's why I stayed in this. I'm watching this 123.50 level. If that flips from support to resistance in a salient way, I am leaving, and it looks like we're trying to, I like salient, it's a good word. Yeah, I took it out. Good word, thank you for that. But yeah, I get out, now NVIDIA's like, what do you mean I flip from support to resistance? So that's annoying. I think I might get back in this short. I'm just a little bit frustrated in myself. I'm getting a little bit in my head. I still have my IWM in the money, so I need to chill out and try to short some more NVIDIA at levels I like better. How are you doing?
I'm good. We're going to show Big Spile
that's why I wanted
Burdette's video over here, Ram. So let's start out. This is Big Spile. First of all, Big Spile, I gotta love the blue. I mean, I'm wearing blue. I'm wearing azure blue. You're wearing azure blue in the video. Shout out to Big Spile Burdette. He's there. He's all right, so let's zoom out. Let's move up a little bit here and see when the fish comes out. You can tell a bit of tug of war between Big Spile and whatever species of fish that is. Big Spile will have to know what that is. And then there's the net catch. Let's show up the other one over here. I hope I don't get doxxed with this one, but here we go. This is the other video that Big Spile sent. I love this, man. North Carolina life. You gotta love this. Let's zoom it. Let's move up a little bit over here. The fish is fighting. It's a feisty bugger. It's a feisty bugger. Where's the fish, Big Spile? There it is. Come on in the net, baby. There's a couple there. There's one in the net and one on the rod. Shout out to my man over there. I hope those tasted good, Kyle. So shout out to him. Big Spile Burdette enjoying his life there out on the Atlantic. So shout out to him.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not going to shout out Tesla. I did get into this Tesla short. I feel like I'm a little bit too short biased now. Things are flipping. I took a really small position here. I got involved just below 196s. Basically, if I see 196 form a support, by that I mean I want to see kind of a bounce, then I'm going to have to get out. Yeah, this is not. We're going to have to see what we do at 20s. Yeah, I think this is. My issue is I got out of NVIDIA where I did happy. I didn't get back into NVIDIA because whatever. Sometimes you just have to acknowledge your entry price was bad. You got to keep going. It's unfortunate. I had a really nice start to the day. Right now, things are getting a little bit hand wavy, which is never fun. So hopefully, I haven't really looked at the P&L much because I've been trying to avoid that. But I know I did give some back just with some of those NVIDIA question marks and that Tesla. There's such a thing as being too confident is the moral of that story. Sometimes it's like Adara, wait for a level that makes more sense. IWM here, like I said, I want to see what we do at 50s. We can't really get above 50s. I don't want to add. I have a nice teeny tiny little position. So I'm just going to let that waffle around to the downside as it does. Really happy with this trade here. I'm going to be having to just watch the book better and stuff. I've not really been, there's been a little too much waffling for me since that start. I feel like it's hard sometimes. I feel like the stronger start I have, the more I waffle later in the day. But AMD, ooh, okay, AMD. Okay, AMD. I like this level because we have that slightly below 162. That was a nice little support area. Support flipping to resistance, perhaps, perchance. I want to be cognizant here. We might have a little topping tail candle. This is the same setup I saw on Tesla, and it didn't really manifest. So that kind of questionable fun aside, I'm still looking here. I think AMD is probably not going to be the short I think it is, so I'm going to watch out here. I'm just going to leave IWM here. I'm not really liking how we're hustling over here with Russell. If we can get a 46, there we go. We're out of the IWM. Please, the dang punch. I want to see here. Very upset I gave up some of my NVIDIA, but you know what? I'm going to use that to get back NVIDIA if it sees something I like, get motivated to make better life choices because that's what we're all about here at How to Trade. Only 10, oh yes, we have Feds Daily speaking right now. So it's only 10 minutes to auction, but we don't have an auction today. But we do have 1 hour left to vote for your tickers, whatever tickers your fancy. Is it AMD? Is it AMC? Is it Microsoft? Is it Tesla? Is it NVIDIA? I don't know. You guys know. Go in that chat right now. Typey. Whatever ticker you're interested in. Then we can get going. IWM still lower, so I might get back at a short at 202.50. Happy I took profit where I did, though. Let's take a look. Take time to read some books and find a new trade. How are you doing?
All right. I want to let you know what Big Kyle was catching in the videos there. Cobia? How do you say that?
I think it is Cobia.
Cobia? Okay. Yeah. And then Red Drum. And then Ganja Fire kind of knew what that was as well. You could tell he's a fisherman and he does some fishing. He's like total cobia. What other things did people say there? Cobia, Ganja Fire knew what it was immediately. Shout out to him. Yeah, because I don't know anything about that. But yeah, that looks like a hell of a good time, man. Shout out to you. Enjoy there. Guys, I'm looking at the Zon here. I'm looking at Meta. I'm looking at Amazon. I'm looking at Apple. This seems to be, just a very obvious short off the 10 or 20 exponential on the 5. Look at these. This is Meta over here. Multiple rejections off the 10. There you go. It's a rinse and repeat. I'm waiting on Amazon for a 10 touch, right? So we got one over here. We got one over here, all of which rejected off the 10. So right now I'm going to be dynamic with where I get in. Sometimes it's going to be, I'm going to have to move my order down to kind of mirror where the 10 exponential on the 5 is showing. Right now it's at $0.75. Alas, the price is at 40, so I'll have to wait. But I'm looking short here on the Mag 7 until I see something distinctly different from the future. And right now we are in negatory land on the futures September contract. To go back into green, we got to get above that 20,038. We're below that right now. We're barely holding on to that 20,000 level. In fact, we printed a low of day below that 19,985. So it has been a bit of a tougher day for the longs on the Mag 7 at least. It looks like Meta is at that 10 exponential. I'm going to wait for a 10 or 20 retracement here on Meta because looks like that Amazon trade may not be coming in as quickly as I would like. And I'd like to get something short off one of these bad boys. So let's switch Amazon into Meta over here and see if we can weasel into the trade. Well, we're at we're at 114.43 right now. So do I want a 10 exponential rejection or do I want to wait for 20? In fact, I'm just going to go ahead and say, we'll get a 20 this time. I'm going to go ahead at 515, 514, mid-90s, and I'm going to set up something to reject there and to get short. So we'll see if we can get in on META on a possible pop. I've set it in the mid-90s. It's showing 81 here on the ask, so not far away from getting filled. We'll see if we get filled in and around that level. I'm looking for a 20 exponential rejection on the Meta on the way down. That's if it fills me. Mr. Ian says Rivian is waking up. Really? I thought it was awake just to the downside. Quite frankly, Rivian is getting shellacked today. 6, almost in a fifth in the negative right now is worse, I guess, at times because we're off the bottoms. 13.45 LOD on RIVN right now, trading at 13.59, trying to recover. This one also, either the 10 or the 20, take your pick here. It's been a rejection off either one. Yeah, interesting look today on Rivian. It's done quite a bit of volume today too for the name, about 50 million shares, and we still got several more hours here to get in. So we'll keep an eye on Rivian. Now back to META because it's coming awfully close to my entry here. We're showing 86s. I'm waiting in the mid-90s to get short on Meta. I'm looking for a 20 exponential rejection. Softy just touched a 20 exponential as well, not clearing through it. Not that that really should make a whole lot of difference. Looks like we're getting that rejection and I'm not getting filled at the moment anyway. My frugality has got me in trouble again, I guess. Well, what frugality? I'm just arguing with myself here, guys. You'll have to excuse me. I'm just trying to make the argument to myself that I'm trying to get in off the 20 exponential. It's not me being frugal. In fact, the 20 exponential is at 55.15. So I'm front running it by some size there, by some distance, not size. All right, keeping an eye on that. Nothing else really in my purview at the moment. What are you guys looking at? Let's see, Michael Parlato, TBT way up today. Let's see what TBT is doing. This is the 20, is this the 20 year?
You have to add all of those after.
Capital 20 year, yeah, that's the 20 year. Yeah, it's a 20-year ETF. Let's have a look at TBT for our friend there. Let's see what this one is up to. Great day. It looks like, yeah, yields obviously on the way up. The 20-year on the way up as a result of the market weakness. Not really surprised there. 34.22 looks like high of day right now on TBT. Good look for the yields today. Adrian, 515.59 Meta. Well, I'm trying to get short right now on Meta, my man. I'm sitting there at 514.95 on Meta, and I didn't get printed, and it's heading back down. I had the right idea, poor execution. Not really surprised there because Meta's awfully spready. DJ Marshall, super chat. What super chat? Did you do a super chat, DJ? Marshall, I'm going back. Oh, there it is. $5 super chat from DJ Marshall. Bought 3. June 28, SPY, 545. Call yesterday for 178. Stock price is 545.05. Derek's, I don't know what that means. Do you know what that means?
What is it?
Derek's to when SPY, okay, I'm assuming.
De-risked.
De-risked, yeah, de-risked. Should have known that. When SPY hit 544.87, held 1, stopped out today, 435 stock price, 549.40. Look, you know that I don't personally trade the SPY, but Big Spal Burdette does. I don't trade, but I look at the ES. So shout out to you. I hope you print on that, obviously, but yeah, I'm not really the person to ask about the SPY.
Yeah, the SPY, I scalp the SPY, but I definitely struggle more with SPY levels. So yeah, shout out to you, DJ Marshall. Hopefully you are printing that for sure. Yeah, so AMD here. I took that short. I have to admit, I definitely need to have a little bit more confidence there. I'm going to use this. I'm getting my stream deck set up. Thank you so much to Fabian and Ramin. I have the confident button, so that's the first time I've ever used a button. That was very fun, very thrilling. That was an exciting moment. But no, so this AMD short, look at these topping tail candles. Look at this rejection here of the base. Unlike some of the more, fanciful kind of impulse-related trades I made, this is I obviously still like the level. I'm still cognizant, though, of the fact we could push higher. But right now, I have no reason to ignore the short. I am a little bit, there's some qualms. I'm worried. My new trading, it should be the qualmometer. If there are qualms, don't get involved. But the thing is too, is you're always gonna have some qualms, right? It's about that balance. It's about the balance of the evidence, the balance of the qualms before the storm, if you will. Like, how are you feeling about the trade as a whole? I did like all of these wicks here rejecting that 162. I'm aware we could break above that 162 with the viciousness. Not to say hopium, but obviously I'm hoping we don't because I'm involved in a trade here. If we break above 162, I know what I'm gonna have to 160 do, and it's gonna be leave this trade. So let's see what we do here. Tesla, also getting a little interesting here. Tesla, a lot of these are forming the same pattern. We're rejecting these areas, then we're getting some very bamboozling little wicks over here. So guys, make up your minds. Let's pick a lane here. Let's find some trades that work. Oh, the SPY though. Let's take a little look-see over here at the SPY. Look at this rejection of the 90 MA, but we do have these wicking candles. Also, it's the SPY, so who knows? I like 548 earlier. I totally missed those trades, but this 546, what is this? 546.30. I'll have an eye on it right now, though. I'm focused on AMD. Appreciate what you're saying here on AMD, or what you're saying here on AMD. Adrian here saying AMD could hold. Yeah, I agree, but right now, for what I'm seeing, I want to take the short. I owe it to myself to attempt the short. Don't love how we're holding this 161.80, but again, I have no reason to leave. And I'm happy I didn't get back involved in the Tesla short, though, because that's trying to pop higher. NVIDIA looking like it's a little bit of a long from here. I might try to scalp that. There could be a bit of a change in the tides, in which case I'm okay with exiting AMD flat if I'm not seeing stuff I enjoy in the books. What else is going on here? What are people looking at? AMD still not long, says McMaster. Yeah, I mean, for my sake, I hopium, you're right. Again, don't want to be taking some opium there. That's not the vibe. But I do like what we got here on this here AMD for now. We'll find out, Lisa, sooner or later how this trade ends up manifesting. Yeah, not wearing my leather jacket right now in NVDA, but man, I do love this little pop here. This 123.70, this was a level yesterday. This could get spicy. I don't know why I'm yelling like this, like a child, like playing hide or seek, but we're gonna have to wait and see what we do here. AMD, do something for me so I know whether or not to leave or not. Do your thing, AMD. Do your thing, AMD. Do your thing. How are you doing?
Good. I wet my beak there on Amazon for a quick profit. Tried to get back in as it made its way back into the 10 exponential added. Then it moved up again, so just stopped out immediately there. But I'm keeping my eye on the 20 because the deeper retracements are coming into the 20. We're now trying to go break even on the NQ September contract. So if we get into that 20,038 level and reject, well, then I'll be looking short again. Now, I wasn't able to get Meta, sadly, so I took Amazon instead, but the one I really wanted was this Meta, but this is no longer valid. It's gonna have to be a 515 reject now, so we'll keep an eye on that. I'm still kind of convinced that we don't really trend up here, but it's just, yeah, I'm trying to get the market to prove it to me that that's what we're doing. So I don't wanna chase this too quickly here. I'm seeing some candles of indecision come in on Meta on the 5 minute. Some doji candles here at this level. So I'm thinking, do I look short on Meta at these levels or do I wait for a 20 period exponential? Yeah, we'll have to wait and see here. I'm gonna get short back on Amazon. I do like it at these levels and then I can just basically, oh, hold on here. There's more strength coming in on Amazon for whatever reason, but we're not clearing the previous candle's high. So the previous candle's high here is at 90 while we're back into 84. So let's see if we make a new high on this candle. If we do, I'm gonna sit at 195.10s. In fact, that's what I'm gonna do right now. Well, we'll see exactly how this candle finishes, but I'm gonna sit there at 195.09 to go short to take that 20 period retracement on the 5. If that doesn't come into that level and we start trending down again for a 10-period rejection here, I'm going to jump in. Wow, Meta, no, you didn't. Come on, bro. It just dropped 50, 60 pennies super quick. Looks like I'm trying to short the wrong one by taking Amazon short here. I had the right idea with Meta. Meta's the better one right now, sadly, for the short. But I'm going to try to pack my patience on AMZN and try to go short on this name as well, as I do see some weakness in the future there.
Yeah, there's a little baby bounce. By the way, AMD printing a little bit. It's not like a big, like, you know, like the industrial printer. It's more of like the printer you get at home that breaks down sometimes. You have to like call your neighbor to fix it all the time. But it's like a little bit of a print is what I'm trying to say on this AMD. Nice. What, Ramin, was that me? I don't know. People are, I guess, Ramin and Neil taking some umbrage with my little joke there. Neil, what do you have to say here, Neil?
First of all, man, ain't nobody calling their neighbor to fix their printer. For A, nobody even has a printer anymore. And B, if your neighbor can fix a printer, then you're probably checking on their health on a regular basis because they ain't shit. Like, come on, son. Come on, son. Nobody uses a printer. Nobody is fixing anybody else's printer. If your printer breaks, you're throwing it out. As a matter of fact, the next time a printer breaks, give me a baseball bat and I'm going to go Office Space on that printer because I've always wanted to do that. That's what you do with a defective printer. You bust it up, have a little bit of fun with it. You certainly don't fix it because nobody's printing anything. I'm just trying to keep it real. Just saying.
I think I accidentally upset Neil here. I think the real deal is Neil has some beef with printers we never knew about. Shout out there to Neil. That's the money that Neil is throwing at for people to get rid of their printers. No, I'm joking. But shout out to Neil. I love that little random interlude. And I did not mean to offend you with my little pun and my joke there. No, all jokes aside, we have a great time here at Trader TV. Yeah, Neil's throwing a football at that printer there. That is for sure. AMD, happiest stayed in this trade.
Oh, no way. What happened,
Office
Ram?
Space for microwave?
It wouldn't open. Ram destroyed her microwave because it refused to open for her.
Of course she did.
Well, I mean, that just kind of gives you the idea that Ram is not a woman to be messed with, right? She's a dangerous person, right? And so like, we have to treat her as such, right?
Hashtag just Ram things. Like that's gonna be, it's gonna have to be a hashtag there.
Love it.
Shout out to Ramin.
Shout out to Ram. I'm still short on AMZN here. I'm trying to pack my patience. I have this area DCA to add at the 20 period, but we're seeing multiple topping tails coming at this level, so I don't want to take out my trade too quickly here. I already wet my beak on this one super quick, but I would like a little bit more. In fact, I'm looking at adding to it, hence the DCA. So keeping my eye on Amazon, we're still negatory on the future. We're at below 20,038, so we'll see what we get here. Short AMZN, waiting for this one to do something. Apple also right back above 214. So Apple coming into another area of technical resistance here. This is the area on Apple that we were trending at all morning. This is the break-even point here on Apple. I'm going short here on the dead one, and I'm gonna look to cover. Oh, wow, that was super quick on Apple. Just 10 cents, just like that on AAPL. That was an interesting area, because it was that 214 area. We talked about this area being the closing print from yesterday, so I took that bad boy. We're nicely in the money here on AAPL, almost 20 pennies in the money. Look to cover a little bit. Let's go back to Amazon. Oh, what did I just do? Let's go back to Amazon right now, see what this one is popping off. Still in the high 80s, or in the low 80s, excuse me, not breaking out really above my level. So I'm going to try to pack my patience with this one, but I'd like a move down from AMZN here to wet my beak on some profits, but it's not coming in quite yet, Adair.
Yeah, you know where Ramin orders her things online? It might be Ramazon, perhaps.
Whoa.
I don't know, I just thought of that and had to. Also, we get this little move down in the futures. I'm not quick enough with my little Tesla scalp. Tesla, how dare you? No, I'm joking. I really thought we'd have a little bit more of a sustained move. I'm still in this short, though, because look, lower high, lower high, lower. I mean, like, look at all these wicks here rejecting these levels. If we break above these 20s decisively, I'll leave. I realize it's pretty tight risk reward, but I really do have to trust myself more. There's not been enough of that. And sometimes too much of that. So you want balance, the right amount of trusting yourself. I've said this a lot. I think the mental element is huge since going live. I've really learned to realize a lot more. You know, Obi always says trust the mental. You can hear him and Neil coming back on in about 55 minutes, but in 45 minutes, we'll have our new segment, which is Sharif at a green screen, moving around wildly, gesticulating, and talking about, because you said I said too much that you stood there. So he's going to talk about some stocks, but what stocks will he talk about? What stocks will Opie and Neil look at with their Obi-Wan Confidence and Neilage? Well, you know what? You guys actually choose that, which is crazy. No, it's not. We love democracy over here at Trader TV. Okay, go in the chat right now, exclamation points. Join space $, TSLA, AAPL, Amazon. Am I biased to the trade right now? No, whatever stocks you guys want for real, put that in the chat. I want to pump my fist, though. I love that Amazon short level for the man, the mustachioed man to my right, who will definitely not just be standing there at the green screen. He will be.
I will not.
Yeah, no, I said a thing, and he was like making some jokes at me. Yeah. It's all good. Tesla below that 196. We got some profits there. I don't know if we'll get more profits there, but I mean, hey, I did have a piece of the dream. Took out for my like leg is moving wildly here, guys. I swear, I don't even feel emotional. This isn't emotion. This is adrenaline. This is like, I don't know, probably how Arnold Schwarzenegger feels when he's in movies, or Vin Diesel. I don't know. I'm comparing myself to these muscled men.
Whatever.
But like when you're in your zone, I guess a little bit. Sharif said I didn't reference him, apparently. So, yeah, I feel like Sharif with the muscles there.
I was like so confused. I'm like, why am I being included in this?
Shout out to Sharif there. Yeah, no, I'm literally like, my leg is like, I apologize if I'm like thumping the table over here, Sharif. I am like,
You're
so,
good to go.
It's just like this kind of wild energy, frenetic energy. I would like to see us again. Let's keep projecting here. If we can't get back below 196, that'll be, it won't be bad. I'm not getting emotional. I'm just living my life over here, doing my thing, 21. But that being said, obviously, I'm in a position, I would like said position to go well. So Tesla, kind of keep projecting over here. Keep having these lower little wicks. I want to see if you bounce off 196.20s here, that's where I'm going to have to make my departure. So yeah, don't love this. We're going to get out here. Pleased as dang punch with this trade. Yeah, it looks like we could be rejecting again. That's final scalp back in. DJ Marshall long the SPY, 546.36. Oh, okay, he's nicely in the money then. Let's pull up that SPY for, ooh, Tesla back down. I'm going to probably get back on that short, but let's look. Oh, no, we're bouncing off. That's not the point. Let's look at the SPY here. DJ Marshall, whoo, pushing right here. Look at this. Look at this SPY. We're bouncing here. We're pushing above the 90 MA. You are a cool almost 40 pennies in the money. I am so happy for you. I'm so happy for everyone. Hope everybody prints. This has been such a fun day here in these markets. I like that Amazon short. I might, that might be the Wazos I choose to go.
Hold on. I want to load up. Don't go to my screen yet, Ram. Yeah, because dox me, bro. Kyle, I mean, Fabian is such a troll. He's like, go to his screen. I love it. All right, I just want to show Big Kyle's pictures that he just took there of the fish. All right, you can come to my screen now, Ram. Here it is. Look at the size of that monster. Shout out to Big Spile Burdette. Look at the monster on there. How are you even holding that, dude? Isn't it slimy and like wanting to... Look at the size of these bad boys. Oh, my goodness. Kyle, these are monsters right here. He says, what a day that was. Thanks for the memories, buddies. Back to back, red drum on 2 different lures you made yourself. Sure feel like success, man. These are big boy catches, Big Kyle. Look at this.
He looks so happy. He looks pleased as
Yeah, of course. He's about to eat up a storm. There's Big Kyle and his buddy there on the boat, both with their treasure and their prize. I love these pictures. Shout out to Big Spile Burdette, man. This is kind of what you live for these good times with the buddies, good times on that fresh air, the fresh water. Well, it's not fresh water, it's salt water, but you guys know what I mean. These are the times this is why we come into work every day, so we can do these type of things. Shout out to the guys, man. This is the kind of thing that I love. So Big Kyle Burdette doing the absolute most in a good way. Let's talk about what's happening on the future. I don't want to say the winds of change are coming, but let me tell you what just happened. Apple just broke out above that key area of 214, and the soft one also broke, well, by a little bit, this 454. Why are these levels important? 214 was an area of technical resistance, started acting as support. We took it again. We're at VWAP right now on Apple at 214.60. Keep that in mind. What I'm looking for, though, is a decided break of this double top that we put in earlier on at 11.20 and 11.45 at $214.75. If we can break above 214 and 2/3, 214.75. I think the winds of change may be coming on Apple, but that's still premature. Same thing with the soft one. Look at this area over here with 454 as a level, as a local area resistance. If we can break and hold above, not just quick and then wham bam, thank you Microsoft. No, we got to hold above that level, close above that level, and then we'll have a discussion about taking it long. But the future also indicating that the winds of change may be coming. We got right above this area low over here. This was 20,040. This was the closing print from yesterday, 20,038. We broke below it. We started using 20,038 as a level of resistance. Now we're breaking above it. We're still below the 20 exponential though on the future. Now, why is all this important? Because I've been really wanting to short Meta, and Meta is at that area at the 20 exponential on the 5 that I want to get in at, right? Because the shallow retracements have come into the 10. As we mentioned, the deeper and, not better ones, but the ones that set up a little bit deeper at the 20. And Meta's there right now rejecting that 514 high 80s, mid 80s, now coming down into the 50s. Do we reject, though, on a closing basis and then head back down? I will likely chase this, sadly, because it's just so dang spready. Let's see if we can get a print here. Nope, can't get short. You can't. Even when I dropped, it just doesn't let me in. Bro, it's so spready, and it's going to go without me. There we go. Now we're shorted there, so I have to put in my stop, send it to you.
Yeah, I have a cool, and we don't say share size, but this is just really funny because I got a partial fill. Cool, 1 share in Tesla. Obviously, we're trying to up that. But right now, we are about 10 pennies in the money. Again, we don't normally share size. We don't normally share the shareage. But in this case, it was just so amusing. I had to. Let's see if we get the rest of this order filled here at 1. There we go. Let's see what happens here. I know I was in the long. I got out. Looks like maybe I should have stayed out, but I want to see us bounce here off that 196. I got out maybe a little bit prematurely out of that first long. We did have a little bit of a bottoming tail candle, which is why I like that look. I'm okay with taking like 15 pennies. I can get out at 196.30s. I'm pleased as punch with that. I like the long right now. I do sometimes an issue of getting all wiffly waffly on Tesla. Like, I like the short, I like the long, I like the short, I like the long. It's inconsistent. This is a pretty small position, so I'm just going to let it ride a little bit. My initial long, I literally lost 10 pennies on. It was an even smaller position. But this one I feel a little bit better about. I have a little bit more evidence, a little bit more confluence, trying to be a little bit more confident in my trades over here, because confidence is not given, it's earned. No, I'm joking. You have to just find it within yourself, which is why we have the confident button. No one should have given me this button. I will be pressing it all the time. But yeah, shout out to Fabian and Ramin for everything they do. Yeah.
Bang.
Yes, La. I know I
it.
said I was going to take my 30 pennies, my 15 pennies to wear, but I want to see what we do here at 30s. If we push higher, I am more than okay with staying in this a little bit longer here. Let's see what we do at 42s. You know what? We're going to get part of this out here at 36s. Let's go. I still have a cool, a very small third of the position left. I'm going to keep this piece for the dream. I don't know how long that dream's going to last. If we can get into 60s here, it looks like we might. I would be, say it with me, pleased as punch. Once I get out of this position, we're going to get to the lesson of the day. I don't know why I was Southern for that, but I was. But it's all good. This lesson's going to be about average true range. You have to be true to yourself as a trader. You have to be true to your style. And I think what's the thing that's really cool about ATR, and I really appreciate the examples Sharif used, and shout out to Sharif for always putting the lesson together, is that ATR is really going to be about, it's very personal. You can personalize it. You can customize it to your style, to what type of trader you are. And I think that's huge because trading is so personal. I'm out of Tesla, got out at 55, as I said, in case we reject the 90 MA, get your tiny third and run out of Dodge, or run out of the Cybertruck, I guess. So that's what I did here. Please just punch. Look, it's our heads. How are you doing here on Tesla? Or, sorry,
I was in Meta, yeah, just stopped out for a 10 penny loser super quick there on META, so we're out of that one. But it's heading higher here, and if it holds above the 20, I will take this one long. So we end up taking a bit of an L there on this last trade on Meta, and then it's still rejecting, though, that 515 area. So maybe I got shaken out a little bit too early. So I'm keeping an eye here. Yeah, I'm going to get back into this. There we go. So now we're in at 515 exactly. So we can go like this, and then we'll look to cover at this over here. So there we go. We'll give this one a little bit more room, hopefully, and it will hopefully not stop us out a second time now. Go down, Meta. You punk. There we go. Maybe if we call it a punk,
Yeah,
it'll
Meta
come down.
really likes it when you call it a punk, I've noticed.
So let's just leave this one. We already put our stop, but let's put in a beak wetter. Possibly, let's just sit at maybe the $0.50 or thereabouts. We'll see if we get there. So we'll leave that one to do its thing. 21. I want to look at ASNS though, because this one is giving you multiple opportunities still. Lots, almost a double bottom there off that 230. Very unusual. It didn't actually quite make its way down into that 2.25 where VWAP was, but it did hold that general area, which is a really good look here on ASNS. Definitely off the highs. It started making higher lows and higher highs once it did that double bottom off the volume weighted average price. I haven't had a trade on it. GameStop as well. It came right back into VWAP ever since tanking down and making that general area low at 24.90. Tried to get back into 25.50, topping tail candle right into that VWAP area and all the way back down. So a bit of a tougher look there for whoever's trading this bad boy. So we'll see what this one presents us with the day. We also had Nike, or not Nike, sorry. Obviously, everybody knows about Nike. NNE. This one was awfully good as well. This one definitely held the volume weighted average price at that 1950, but the volume has slowed down significantly here. Definitely not, far removed from day's highs, but $1 off the day high. But this one has had about $6 worth of range, so definitely towards the top end of the area there. Nothing really else for me to do other than to nurse this meta trade and keep an eye on the futures to make sure, I'm not holding this one against the trend there.
Yeah, thank you so much to the Day Trader Cut for putting some of these comments from the Feds here. The Fed's daily, the labor market is extremely strong, even with slowing. We know the labor market's been a concern for a lot of these Feds, so it'll certainly be interesting. We do have Fed Chair Powell making some comments on Tuesday. He is set to speak at this European banking meeting, so definitely check that out. Yep. But before we do the lesson, I just want to talk about Mara because that one's on a marathon to the upside, bouncing off the 9 EMA like a little springboard. Thank you guys to everyone pointing this out. We'll have to see if 21 can do something for Mara, and I mean that quite literally, Sharif, because we're at 2070 right now. We had a bit of a topping tail candle into 2085. Let's see if 21 can, in fact, be a friend here for the marathon man. Mara. Yeah, I always love, people have made that joke with me before. Mara, 21, can you do something for me? Because Mara often like to hang out around that level, but it was too good to resist. So shout out to everybody here. But right now we're gonna talk about average to range because we've talked about it all week here. It can be a valuable tool for intraday trading, but we have to address that it's not a crystal ball. It's not a magic 8 ball. It's not a Palantir, nor is it an Oracle. Shout out to PLTR and ORCL. But the point is you cannot predict the future, neither can ATR, but we can talk about it and we can learn about it and understand it better. Because we have to understand the allure of prediction. Because we all crave certainty. The market is so uncertain. And wouldn't it be easier if Sharif could know for sure that Meta wouldn't be a punk? If he knew for sure that Meta would have its rejection and not be a punk, right? If we knew these things, that would just be perfect. That unfortunately, though, is not the case. It is not real, unfortunately enough. But remember, because you do have to remember, because the ATR can seem like a magic formula, panacea, a cure for all ills in the market, but it's not. It can help you, it's a tool, but it is not like the construction worker that's gonna build your house, right? It's just one element of your overall take on the markets. So even though it can seem like it predicts future volatility and price movements, all it does is aid you in your experimentation of the markets. Why am I doing this voice? I don't know. Let's talk about the power of ATR, because the ATR does excel at analyzing historical data. So some ways it helps us, even without predicting the future, is through understanding volatility, right? I would argue this is one of the key, this is kind of the crux of the ATR, because it tells you how much the instrument is typically going to move in a day, which helps us gauge the market environment and choose suitable trading strategies. It also helps you set realistic targets. It can be hard to do that, but if you have a general kind of idea, it can always be better. So what it does is instead of fixed profit target goals, what it'll do is allow you to set dynamic targets based on the expected daily range, leading us to some more realistic profit expectations. What about informed stop loss placement? That's one thing we've talked about a lot as well, because there are formulas which you can look back at the last 2 lessons to get a look at there. We've talked about some formulas for setting stop losses, formulas for profit takers, and you can certainly be helped there with these formulas through ATR, because by considering historical volatility, you can help place stop loss orders that account for normal price fluctuations, preventing unnecessary exits. What about trailing stop loss management? That's key too, right? Well, good thing ATR has a formula for that as well. Combining ATR with trailing stops can allow you to dynamically adjust your exit strategy as the price moves in your favor there, and can help you balance profit protection with giving the trade room to go. Yeah, Tesla popping up here. Thank you, Dundell Senyo. I was noticing that in my side chart as well, so we're going to quickly take a look here to look at that big old Cybertruck. Okay. What? I don't know what this line is. That's cool. I'll delete that line that I accidentally put in my chart. Oh, it's fibs. Okay, I need to explore that. But that's not the point. The point is, look at Tesla here popping up above 197. This 197 30 area was kind of interesting earlier. We're going to have to see what we do at 197. But here, Tesla on the 5-minute, what a bottoming tail candle on this 90 MA. This is a crazy look on TSLA. Thank you guys for pointing that one out. I saw it in the side chart, did not realize the extent to which that one moved. Tesla curling, says Alex Diaz. Oh, for sure, I definitely agree. But let's talk beyond the ATR, right? Because you can't use one indicator for your trade. You know, Sharif will always say he's not going to take a trade, or he's not going to take stock in just one candle, right? You want to see how all the candles impact the stock. So you really want to look at the overall picture and the balance of the evidence. So how do you look at these other elements? Well, technical analysis is, of course, one to talk about. You can use technical indicators like support and resistance levels, moving averages, momentum indicators to all help you confirm potential entry and exit points. There's also fundamental analysis, right? So you might want to look at the holistic view of the market. Consider company news, economic data, industry trends for an overall view of the market. And I think one thing, too, that is certainly interesting with regards to, like, for example, Nike today, that moved down. That's beyond technicals, obviously. That also has to do with the fact those earnings were a little bit roof, right? So that's certainly something worth noting. And then we also want to talk about risk management, position sizing, and stop loss orders. Also, are you looking at that Saba? I just saw that message. Is there anything with Saba? Oh.
Yeah, I'm just gonna show the chart.
For sure.
So here is the chart, if you want to show that while I load up the headline.
Yeah, for sure.
So there's nothing really coming in from a headline, but Brendo letting me know that Saba, S-A-V-A, aggressive selling. Nothing coming in from the headline quite yet. This thing closed out yesterday at $19 or thereabouts. It has a 1906 HOD. As you can see there, it is absolutely tanking down right now into the 16 3/4, 1680 area Adara. We'll have to keep eyes on this one.
Yeah, that Sava, that needs to be saved, saved. That was bad. That oof was the same you could set the chart or the pun, and it would be equally bad. No, good times. But to finish up this little lesson over here, we're going to talk about things you have to remember, right? Because the market is so dynamic. There's so much going on, guys. News, economic events, investor psychology, stress laws, so many different indicators and things to take in mind that can happen in this market. So just because you have the ATR does not mean you're automatically going to have an easier time trading. And ATR is a tool. It's not a guarantee. It does not predict future volatility or price action. You know what I mean? So that's something worth noting as well. You always want to combine as well the ATR with other analysis methods and risk management strategies to make informed trading decisions. So backtest your strategies using historical data to help evaluate their effectiveness before you start using them in the live markets. Also, you know what else you can do in the live markets is vote in our chat. ! Join, space, $, META, AAPL, AMD, IWM, Chewy, GME. You guys know tickers. You know what those tickers are. You go in the chat, you drop those right now, and we can take a look at them. Sharif gesticulating wildly on the green screen and talking, and then we'll have the Neelaj and the Obi-Wan-fidence going over those trades.
The Obi-Wan-fidence, the Ob, the one, the Kenobi. He is here today for the Katina Man. Shout out to him. Traded really well this morning. I'm still in this meta short. It is lulling me to sleep. I am a little worried about it, though. We were, 30 pennies in the money I didn't want to cover because it's meta, right? We're trying to take at least 50 pennies here. So if I get stopped out, I get stopped out. I'm not going to cover for a small winner here. So I have to keep my eye on this one. But what's concerning me about this is now the future's incrementally making its way up. And if the future keeps moving up here, Meta's going to move up. Now, I kept my eye on some other Mag 7 names to see what they were doing at areas of support and resistance. Well, Softy ended up finding resistance again at this level, 454. Apple, much the same thing, found resistance at VWAP. It's had trouble with VWAP all day, essentially, since breaking down below it or at, a quarter to 11. And it's headed back down now. I'm keeping my eye on all these names because I'm unsure of this trade, and we were just in the low 70s again, then popped up. So if this 20 period does end up, moving up here. Then I'll get stopped out above the 515, about 515.15 is where I'll get stopped out. So I've been giving it room. It's been rejecting off 515, but you know, it looks like it may be accumulating here. So we'll have to wait and see. There goes the low 70s. I'm waiting in the mid 50s, okay? So we have low 70s. I saw as high as high 60s. I haven't seen high 50s quite yet on MET in the last little bit. You know, anyway, so it's a bit of a tougher trade right now for me, especially since I'm being stubborn and don't want to take like 25 pennies. I'm trying to take more. If I get stopped out, I get stopped out. That's the end of the matter. So we'll see what we get. Will not get upset. Shout out to Neil Roberts. All right, keeping an eye on some of these other names that are joining. Nick Dubb, VKTX, he's liking that one. VKTX, we'll have a look at that one in a hot sec. But I want to mention Sava. Sava is now halted to the downside, guys. Let me just pull it up here. It is halted at, hate this thing. Give me a sec. SAVA. There we go. It's halted at $15.11. It is now, oh, here it is. Federal grand jury indicts Pennsylvania man. Was this at Bendro? Is that it? Okay. Federal grand jury indicts Pennsylvania man for defrauding NIH of $16 million in federal grant funds. Some dude allegedly fabricated scientific data in grant applications for Alzheimer's research. Yeah, I don't want to hear that. That drives me nuts. Charged with fraud, wire fraud, and false statements. Faces up to a measly 55 years in prison if convicted. Obviously, that is for a conviction. Trading down here right now, 15.11, a monster huadunk. No question about it on SAVA. We're going to have to pack our patience and see what we get there. Back to META. You know, again, we were in the mid-60s. I didn't print because I'm too stubborn, waiting in the mid-50s. And if I get stopped out, I get stopped out.
Yeah, shout out to you there. Shout out to Sharif with the meta. Also, yeah, I remember that cassava story a while ago that came out that they were looking into that. But yikes, what a look. I tried to take a long on Apple, and instead Apple ended up, you know, getting me a little bit crisp there. It's all good. We did lose on this trade. I want to see what we did at 214.10s, holding that pretty nicely. We did have a nice little bounce there. It did not last. It's all good. If Meta stays, not Meta, Apple stays below 214, that could be maybe a short, but I don't really want to talk about that too much. Pitchbull was mentioning Tesla on the 5-minute chart. Or sorry, not Pitchbull. I think it was 1320 Wolf here. But look at this bounce off the 90 EMA on TSLA. I don't mind this. I'm just way too cognizant of this resistance. The previous areas, like, look at this. This is to the letter. Jeez. Rejection, then support. But we have to vote.
No, Adara. Here comes $1 on Meta. Yes, yes. And there it is. I'm done that trade. Oh my God, this one lulled me to sleep. I knew I had the right idea. Thank you, and sorry for interrupting you,
no,
but
it's okay.
I wanted to get exact revenge on this Meta trade, Adara. Finally, we get that curl down on off the 20. Down goes Meta into 514. We were short 515. I'm very happy with this trade. I'm happy I stuck with my guns. I'm sad that I got stopped out rather than adding to the position. We all saw what Adara was doing yesterday when she had NVIDIA up on the ropes, holding on for its life. She kept adding into the position, and I admire that. So I want to be able to do that as well. And today I didn't do it, but I did execute this trade in a way that I'm happy with. So we take that $1 win on META. Now let's look for the next thing. Did you have something you want to talk about?
Nah, I mean, okay. Apple was mean to me. I'm looking for new trades.
All right, keeping an eye on this one. The dead one all the way back down. Another volume-weighted average price rejection for AAPL. It has been that way essentially since we gave way, Adara, at 1035 on the volume-weighted average price. We had a couple of doji candles there, indecision, holding right at VWAP, and then the candle that sealed it all was that 1050 candle, and we have not been above that volume-weighted average price since 1050. But here's the thing. Do we now get back into that range of 214 general area bottom and play it the way we did initially? And that's exactly what I did with AAPL, because it was a range trade initially, and then it ended up being a breakdown trade. And that's what I was doing yesterday with it. I kept taking the short there, where was I taking the short? I was taking off 214 yesterday on Apple,
Yes,
right?
yeah.
Yes, thank you for that. So I was taking the short off 214 multiple times, excuse me, on Apple. And today it's kind of presenting you with that same thing, but it's breaking down now again. So that 214 range, not right now, at least, all the way down into 213 3/4 goes AAPL, now down 0.5% on Z-Day. Adara.
Yeah, so yeah, I tried to take that Apple long off that 214.20 hold. 21 did not, in fact, do something for me. But yeah, it's all good there. I took this NVIDIA short. I don't know. I took the short because we broke below the 214. 214. I'm getting Apple in my head. 120. 124.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
the
good,
point
all
is, I
good.
took this trade. If we break above this area, I'm getting out. This was my area from this stock yesterday, NVDA. Wow, coffee. This is the area I liked in this stock yesterday and the day before. It was an interesting area of resistance, that and support.
Resistance.
So yeah, thank you. I appreciate that.
Resistance.
So we're gonna have to wait and see what we do here on this stock. Right now, we can't get above 124.22. I was looking to take a long at that level. Happy I did not. I like the short for now. I'm aware the short could go against me. I took a smaller position because I was like, eh. But I like the levels and I owed it to myself to trade the levels. If we keep projecting here, I might add to the position, but no, I'm not gonna get out. Yeah, I'm gonna have some coffee. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries.
That.
All right, guys, Sava still halted, guys, at $15.11. It is a big boy Huadunk. It is down 20 1/4. It is as a result of this headline right here. In case you're just joining us, the federal grand jury indicting a Pennsylvania man for defrauding. What is this? NIH, National something. What is this? I'll have to Google it. Yeah, I think that could make sense. Institute of Health, says Neil. I think that probably makes sense. We'll Google it. We'll find out. If you guys know, let me know. He's facing a light 55 years. Man, you Americans have long prison terms. We have nothing like that here, by the way. Maybe not as good, maybe that's bad. John Del Senio, Disney getting absolutely dunked on. I know who dunks around here.
If you don't
Fei. Neil's like, he can't dunk a basketball. We know that that's not true. He thought he could beat Neil in a race, which I found to be funny. But yeah, so it's all good. Shout out to Fei. We miss him around here. Anyway, let's look at Disney for our friend John. He says it's getting dunked on. We already talked about Disney getting huadunked. We've been talking about that all day long on DIS. Let's load up to see if anything has come in on this. Is this it? Fumble, your favorite NFL team is on the hook for 450. No, that ain't it. That ain't it, baby. I still have no idea what is going on with this. I still don't have anything on my blotter. Down 2 1/4, looks like this, printing at day's low as we speak right now, and I have no idea why. I guess that's just, you gotta accept it. 98.75, John. I hope you took that 10 on the 5 rejection, the 10 exponential on the 5 minute, because it held it like a dang glove, John. When it made that 99 touch, it retraced into 99 3/4. Getting into that, 10 exponential, maybe bottom area hold over here. We're wicking off that 99 3/4. I hope you took that short. I don't know where you got short, John. But yeah, obviously goes without saying. Hope you print. Wow, Disney, go lower. Why don't you? 3 1/3 now in negative territory on DIS. Another low of day, 98.71. This one is getting, yes, John, it's getting dunked on. What's going on, Neil? Oh, here we go. Sava's open. Neil was yelling about 12. There it is, 12.15 low. It's going to halt here, guys. It looks like at 12.15. Let's keep an eye on the tape. There it is. It is halted now at 12.15. SAVA absolutely huadunking on the news of fraud, essentially to defraud the NIH out of a plethora of money at Adara, and the market really making Cassava Sciences pay right now, halted again to the downside. Now, very, very much down. What's the percentage down on the day? Here we are. We are a light 35.88% right now, Adara, low of day.
That's wow. Nike, speaking of things that are near low of day, its name is Nike. And it is running to the downside. I give Obi credit for that pun because he said that earlier. I don't know if it was an intentional pun, but I enjoyed it. We had that flat bottom break at 76, then we have the retest of 76, and then 76 is like, yeah, I would rather not, and we saw it from 76. Now, this is an area that's of interest to me because look at this little choppy churny. Look at all these, the wicks, the topping tail candles at 75.20, right? Look where we're hanging out now, 75.20. My brain is doing a level of exhaustion right now that is maybe going to make me trade a little bit less until I see stuff I really like, but I'm still going to keep going, keep doing the thing. And right now, Nike is doing the thing here. I like the idea of a Nike short. Yeah, for a bad pun, but still push it back. At this 75.22, but I also think we could be going long here, higher highs, higher lows. That 76 area is, of course, deeply tantalizing to myself. Let's see, though, it's hard when you're short biased and all the shorts have kind of gone, the bears have kind of hidden into hibernation for the rest of the day. But you know what hasn't hidden into hibernation? Your ability to vote, because you only have like 14 minutes left to do that. Go in the chat right now, exclamation point, join, space, $, whatever tickers, you're a little fancy. Get us in there and get us involved, and then we can find out what's going on in the stocks. And then, if you want to see Obi and Neil talk about the stocks and have Sharif do more than just stand on the green screen with his mustache that is not a ticker, unfortunately, then you can do a vote here. TQs, like, okay, not a pushback, but I like this 75.40 rejection. Look, support earlier, bang. Rejection. I am fully okay with taking a scalp short on this if we stay below these little 75s. Okay, yeah, I do want it. I want that smoke. That is the smoke that I would like to have right now. Okay, that's the smoke. We're going to give this a 75.10s. Is that tight risk? Oh, sure. But does it make sense for me in the level of fuel my brain is on? Oh, yeah.
Get down, Fuge. And it's getting down. Adara, I just want to mention to the people, NNE is absolutely exploding to the high side. It's about 32 pennies off the highs, but it took out that $23 level. We had a flat top hanging out, guys, at 22. As you can see there, multiple touches at that $22 level. Over here, 10.05 reject, double top. 11.55, 12 reject, topping tail candles from 12.25 to 12.35 reject. Then the smoke came. It came and it came fast and furious. 1:30, there goes the break at 22. There goes the break at 23. NNE. It behooves me, though, to give you the details on this one because it's been a hot minute since I did. So 903.25 million market cap. Inching in on $1 billion, obviously, as a result of being 40% up. The market cap has pumped up. About 6 million shares trade on the day, a little bit less, 5.93. 15.2 million share float, so not huge, but definitely not micro. And let's look at the short float. Again, I forget this one. Yeah, Trade Ideas doesn't have the short float on this, so that's fine. This one is obviously having trouble breaking and holding above 23. And as I can just see from the way it's trading, it's awfully spready. But though, let's load up. We're going to leave Sava where it is because it's very important that we have eyes on Sava right now. NNE on the NQ. Yeah, look at this. It's like 25 penny spread, tightening up a little bit now, 15 pennies now, 5 pennies now. But you can tell it, 10 pennies, it opens up. And you can always tell when you don't have the book and the tape up, you can tell if something is trading spready by the increments by which the candle moves. If it's like moving 10 pennies, 15 pennies every single time, and it's not just a liquidity grab, then that means the spread is awfully wide. So if you don't have level 2, sometimes you can gauge how spready a stock is based on the price action on the chart, where the candles, how the candles move. So right now you can tell it's spready, topping tail candle on the 1, topping tail candle on the 5. It may not resolve that way. I'll be looking personally for a 22 defend. I know that there's not that much time left on the show, but we know this $22 area was a level of important resistance. So let's go ahead and sit at 22.05, and we will want the smoke, Adara. The only question is going to be whether we're too frugal for our own good, sitting 5 pennies above former resistance, now support. Do we get the print, given that this one is super spready?
Fabian said puff, puff, pass. So that's like, I guess that's all the smoke there.
Yeah, well, he's ready for the weekend, it looks like. So Fabian,
Shout out to Fabian and Ramin. We have Canada long weekend now, so that's exciting. We're going to have to see how this goes on the market. TQQs, why are you bouncing at 75s? Why are you doing this, sir? Sincerely, Adara. Like, we're rejecting here off the this level, the 75.10s. Like I said, if we get above 75.10s, I'm getting out because my brain cannot handle any more risk than that at this current juncture. But for reward, like, I want all the smoke, you know? I want a nice little, a little wisp here, more than a wisp of smoke here. Let's break down cues.
You know what I've been seeing a lot lately, and I know that this is like super tangential, but I want to talk about it. Because you said smoke, so I thought forest fires because of what happened in Canada last year, this, that, and the other. Do you know that there's like all these like fire posts in the forest that they build these high towers, and there's people that live in there all day long just looking out for fire? Yeah, say fire watch people. Is that what they're called, Fabian? Fire watch? Yeah, they build these fire watch towers, which is pretty cool. So they got like an insane view. They wake up, they go to sleep with like the most beautiful view, sunset, mountains, forest, because they're super high, right? Because they have to be able to see the entire, you know, topography around them. And so I didn't even know that kind of thing existed.
That's wild. I had
now they're
no
actually
idea.
talking about setting up AI computers in those towers to basically replace people to have 24-hour surveillance for fire, because getting the quick jump on the fire helps you obviously control it.
No, that makes sense. I had no idea that was a thing.
Isn't that
Fire Watchers.
Yeah, I didn't know anything about that.
Show, the Fire Watchers.
Oh, is that?
That would be, you know, be an interesting.
Is that a
Netflix
show?
It's not, but it would be, right?
Oh.
Wouldn't it be cool? Also, that's the thing.
Thanks, Fabian, for that.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Fabian.
man, look at those views. Unreal. They build like these monster towers in the middle of nowhere, and these people have unobstructed views, 360-degree views. Look at that. Fabian, can you maximize that one on the right? Yeah, this one. That one that you got right there. Yeah, if you can do that, that'd be great. Yeah, I thought it was really, really cool. And especially if you like that kind of job, if you like to get away from everybody, you know what I mean? Like, that's kind of your job. But I do see triangles. I do see a profitable trade. I'm happy for you. Tell us about it.
Thank you. Well, we're not celebrating. Oh, that's a nice little lodge there for fire watching. We're not like partying yet here. We did take out half of this position. Proud of where I got. It's always nice when you get kind of bottom wick on the candle there, which is what we ended up doing. Hey, but you know, the Qs to QQ, if you want to reject here, I know, well, no, actually, I was going to add here if we rejected 74.96s, but, and to be clear, this isn't like a scared trader, it's a division trader. I just don't have enough confidence in that ad. But right now, I do still have half of my position. Oh, okay, if we do it again, though, if you're going to give me confidence, Qs, I know what I need to do. And it's add to this position here. Like I said, actually, my level's now going to be like, you've got to change your stop sometimes if things get adjusted. If we go above 75.05, that is going to have to be the new area in which we get dicey here. I should have maybe taken everything out on that little rejection, but I do still see a bit of a decline here on the futures. Ben Fishin, I love a good pun. Thank you so much to the $4.99 super chat. You can reserve some of those towers as a free backwoods Airbnb. Shout out to you, Ben fishing. Hopefully you've been fishing this weekend, or you've got some fun plans to do some fishing this weekend. Shout out to you.
Yeah.
NNE.
Dara, I missed out this
I thought you were
trade.
in
I'm
it.
too frugal. I told you my frugality was going to get me in trouble. So this one came down into the fifth of a dollar, 22.20. I was sitting at 22.05. There it goes. I knew this was going to be an issue, but like, how much do you front run it by? 15 pennies, 20 pennies, 50 pennies? I don't know. I mean, I took a shot here and I missed it. There it goes. Now new high of day, 23.89. This thing is up 46.5%. It's about to break $24. Now it behooves us to actually go in and do some charting to find out where that next level of resistance that we should expect will be. So let's go to the daily here real quick. 15 minutes left on the show. Okay, so this one just started out its life. This is Lucy. What am I doing on Lucy, bro?
I love Lucy.
Oh, no. I got it.
That was
It's not Lucy. Yeah, I saw Lucy at the top. This is NNE, sorry. So this one just launched on May 8th. So I don't know if this was an IPO or DL. I don't think we had any DLs lately, direct listing. So probably IPO. It's not at $10, so it's definitely not a SPAC. So this one IPO'd, it looks like on the 8th. Since that time, what is the area high that we need to concern ourselves with? Well, this area that we're at right here is exactly the closing print from the 26th. So we closed out at 23.39. We're at 23.26. This is an interesting area of resistance. If we reject off this area, it'll be rejecting off the closing print. We're above it right now by a skosh, by about 10 or 15 pennies. But what a move up for NNE, parabolic in its movement, and then parabolically coming back down now. Here it comes. Now, does it test that $22 area again? And if it does, do I get in on a second attempt? I don't know. I don't think that that's the right move, personally. Let's have a look at Sava. Sava's back open, guys. Now it is halted to the high side here. Cassava Sciences, 3 halts, 2 to the down. The first one to the upside, $11 exactly is the low of day. Halted, though, right now, $12.69, down 33%. Big volume coming in on Sava, even though it really can't stay open. So it's been trading aggressively for the last, I want to say, half an hour, and it's been halted for 20 of those minutes and going to be halted again right now because both halts were 10 minutes, and it's done about 1 2/3 million shares. So we'll see if it can generate a little bit more shareage here. Still a little bit light on the shares. In case you're wondering what's going on, this is it right here with Cassava Sciences. Fraud. Basically, fabricating scientific data in grant applications, and you hate to see this for Alzheimer's research. That just is infuriating of a headline, especially with, how many families are afflicted negatively by this type of disease. And so some people trying to steal money. Anyway, so you just don't like to see that kind of stuff. What else we got going on over here? ASNS, yeah, ASNS finding support again at the volume weighted average price. You could make an argument of a quadruple bottom here. You had 2 defends initially, 1250, and then again at 1, and then you're getting another couple of defends here on ASNS at that 2 1/3 at the volume weighted average price. Looks like it may be heading down now with successively lower highs. We'll have to see if that one manifests in a flat bottom break. So that is my look there. We'll keep an eye on the Mag 7. Obviously, it has not been a strong day for Mag 7 names, for the future in general. All of everything really in negative territory for the exception of Microsoft. It is the only one. Oh, and NVIDIA. NVIDIA's flat anyway, up 0.01. Microsoft, same thing, 0.09 in the green. It's been, I don't want to say a red day because Apple's flat, Microsoft is flat, Tesla's almost flat, up, down a quarter. NVIDIA is flat, Google is red, Meta is red, and Amazon decidedly red between those guys. So we'll see if they can recover a little bit on the day. So we'll keep an eye on that. Just allow me a minute here to fix my screen. Let's keep an eye on Cassava Sciences at these levels because we're waiting for that bad boy to open. If history is any guide, it likely will be a 10-minute halt. Both halts to the downside today were 10-minute halts. John Del Sedno telling me that Piton is getting destroyed. No, not Piton.
The wheels are falling off the bike.
The wheels are falling off the bikes. Spin or whatever will hit the. We need like a.
Don't spin the money. Spin the cycle.
I don't have one. I don't have one. I sadly do not have a spin cycle, but. Peloton, Fabian, is getting destroyed. Let's see what the headline is, possibly here on Piton. Nothing coming in on my blotter to explain what the move down is here on Piton, but fact of the matter is it's down 6%. 6%, and this is about to break $1 billion market cap. I can't believe this. Oof. Do you know what this company's market cap was? Okay, let's do the math.
Can I guess?
Okay, let me do the math, and then I'll tell you in a second.
Okay.
So 334 million float, okay?
Okay.
So we know it's a 334 million float. Now you can guess.
Okay, did it have a market cap of 12.5 billion.
Okay. It's a lot higher than that.
Oh my gosh, 32.5 billion.
50 billion.
No,
It was almost, yeah, it was $138. I bought it 119 and I sold it at 138.
Okay, so go you. Go
So
Sharif.
I'm certain about that.
Yeah.
That was October 2020. I'll never forget it. Yeah.
Go
And
Sharif.
so if you have 334 million outstanding shares
Yeah.
and you were trading at $138, let's do simple math, 46 billion.
Yeah.
And it was higher than that. Let's go to Piton Monthly over here and see where this one got up to, all-time highs. There you go. Double top, 170. So it was definitely a lot higher than that. Just for my own curiosity, 334 million shares, and they haven't done an offering since that time, multiplied by 170. That is a cool $56.7 billion. It is now worth $1.2 billion. It is hard to see that kind of thing, you know what I mean? Like, you know, people are probably holding this. Anyway, Sava's open, here we go. Down to 1143, it's gonna halt again though, at 1143, size on the bid, size on the ask. Do we halt? No, there we go. So false halt there. Do we move up a little bit? Oh, down we go. The algos play games. You got to love that. So we'll see how far we go here on SAVA. The selling keeps on coming, though, Adara. Down we go, 43% in negatory lane. Here's 1081. This is one of the halt levels. We'll see if it's a false halt here, how long we stay at. We got to stay at least 10 seconds. Or is it 10 or 15 seconds, Neil? 15. Thank you very much for that, Neil. It halted again. 1081 halt. Cassava Sciences down 43%.
Yeah, that's quite the little dip there for Cassava. I think dip is putting it lightly. Dip getting out the rest of this NVIDIA short flat on it, and I'm really proud of myself for this. I took a few little scalps, a few little nibbles, some munches on profit. I got involved in this short because we broke below that 124. You guys know how I feel about 124. This bit of level I've been talking about, yapping, running my jaw about the last few days here. So I saw this come back again. I owed it to myself to short. Tried the short earlier, didn't work out. But you know what? As Neil said during his lesson of the day, the market does not care about your past trades. It only cares about this trade you're making right now. And even then, it doesn't really care at all. So you got to do what you got to do. I was like, I don't know, Adara, you could like lose some, but I'm like, also, Adara, you could make some money on it. So I got involved. The reason I got out was because we're seeing much higher lows on the book. My first out on this, 88. NVIDIA has not seen 88s since I got involved. I realized we were making higher lows on the book. I got out. If we break decisively back below 90s, and then come back and retest 124. Maybe it's a short for me again. We're still below the 90 EMA. I don't dislike the short thesis, but for my scalping purposes, it was making me a little bit uncomfortable. And to be clear, being uncomfortable in trades, not a bad thing. There are trades that go well that you're uncomfortable in. You want to be a little bit shaken up by the markets, but you also want to make sure that the trades make sense to you. And in this case, it didn't make sense to me anymore to be in that NVDA trade. I haven't seen anything in the book since I've left to make me regret leaving. So there you go. That is the trade on that. Tesla doing a little chop and a little turn over here for the Cybertruck. Oh, wow. Okay. I don't want to say bull flag. We had a little baby bull flag here. Pushing up here to this 197.20s. I was talking about this rejection. We got it to a T, this 197.20 area. Look at this. Sweet wicks, all these wicks to the downside. Then we have these topping tail candles. So this is support resistance filling beautifully. Now we're seeing quite a few bottoming tail candles, tons of support. Again, at a previous rejection level here, 196.55. Wowzers. This is a level here for Tesla, trying to continue to bounce off the 90 EMA. This could be a long. I'm considering scalping this, but I don't want to get involved in the trade I don't believe in. Very proud of myself for getting out of the NVIDIA short, because that would not have been the vibe had I stayed in it. That being said, we're now back on my other level of interest in NVIDIA, which is that interest in NVIDIA. We're going to have to see what we do here, 124.25s. I want to look at some other stocks for people before we call it a day. Pitchbull a while ago was saying if Sean was here, he would have taken Palantir, $25. Oh, okay, that's a nice 25 bounce here for P to the L to the T to the R. I do not disagree with you there. We had a little bit of chop and turn here at the 90 EMA. Now we're breaking a bit below, but interesting level. Only 6 minutes till we get the Neilage and the Obi-Wan-fidence. Because the confidence right now is on vacation. NVIDIA will not go down, says Urso. Yeah, I mean, I think like we're gonna have to wait and see, right? I'm just gonna see what the chart is telling me. Happy I got out of that short where I did. Proud of myself for that. But honestly, I have no reason to believe NVIDIA as a long right now until we break above that very obvious resistance level for me of that 124.20s, which has not just been a thing today. It was support earlier. It was also a level earlier this week.
Okay, so it's a long weekend in this country.
Well, yeah.
Sadly, we don't have Monday off because we take American holidays, not Canadian. What are the plans, Adara, for said long weekend, if any?
I'm hanging out with my friend on Sunday. That'll be nice.
That's nice.
I don't have any other plans this weekend. Not going to the dentist because they wanted to rope me into coming on Saturday again. Yeah, and I was like, no. The tooth they fixed is now sore. I can't chew on this side anymore. So I'm not going back there. Sorry, what are your long weekend plans?
No, I was going to just mention that it's raining up a storm tomorrow.
Oh.
And so obviously, you know, there was like a whole bunch of different festivals and stuff like that this long weekend. I don't think they're going to be well attended given that, you know, it's raining up a storm. We'll have to see what Sunday brings, but Sunday likely, you know, just going to take it easy because we got to work on Monday. Can't be out drinking on Sunday.
Drinking.
No,
drinking.
can't.
I just wanted to sing some Beyonce. Let me live my life.
All right. There you go. Get your Donkey Kong pants looking bullish. Hey, on what? DKNG. Is that what you're saying, John? Is that what you want me to look at? DKNG? Absolutely. I'll take you up on that. Ram or Fabian, whoever. DKNG. Let's see what we got up here, up in this. You know what? Let's go to the 5 minute on Donkey Kong. Okay. What's going on with DKNG here? Great move up. Multiple holds at the volume weighted average price, John. Good eye out for you there. I'm looking to see what's going on. DraftKings options frenzy. What you need to know. Tell me more. Investors with a lot of money to spend have taken a bearish stance on DraftKings. Yeah, we'll tell the chart that. It doesn't know that. We noticed today when trades showed up, publicly available options history that we track here at Benzinga. Shout out to folks at Benzinga. It looks as if there is a big put buying and okay. So we'll have to see about that $694,000 position on Donkey Kong, but quite frankly, it's not really reflecting the price action right now. It's more of a long than it is a short. We'll have to see if it stays that way. Basically opened up at 37 bucks, high of day 38.24, holding the volume weighted average price on every descent into it. Double top though at that $0.25 level. Here we go with 38 again. Let's see what we do with that 38.25. Generally, I personally would be looking to get short at that level to play the range, seeing as we don't have a catalyst other than some dude with a lot of money bought options or bought puts, I should say, which is not really reflecting the price action. So that's the look right now, Dara. I'm going to just look quickly here at the Mag 7 before I jump up onto the green screen there. Guys, lots of things at lows. Meta's very close to near lows. So is Amazon. Apple's not much above lows. Neither is Tesla. Really, the only one that really kind of is still green is Microsoft and NVIDIA. And they're both marginally green. One's up 0.15, the other one 0.02. So not a whole lot of action to the upside today in the Mag 7 world. We'll have to see if that all changes on Monday. But I will see you guys all at the big screen in 2 minutes.
We will. Thank you so much, Sharif, for the lessons, for everything you do. Hope you have a great long weekend. And yeah, we'll see Sharif at the green screen. Also, I want to shout out Elon in the chat a while ago. You were asking if I had any songs for the long weekend. I don't, unfortunately, but we were singing All in This Together from High School Musical 3 earlier today, and I got that, and Sharif said. So I'm going to, because we're all in this together, taking trades, looking at charts. I don't know what to do from here, but that'll be my song for the weekend here. This Tesla bull flag looking mighty spicy. I like this look here. Look at all of these wicks here into 196.50. We bounce back. Part of me is like, I want to take this trade at the end of the show, but the other part of me is like, Adara, you do not trade after the show, you're all good. Also, I know I said I was not interested in video long until it broke above 124.25, but then I was like, Adara, you could take the bounce into 124.25. You could do that, so I did that. Smaller position, took out 2/3 at 124.19s, got the rest out when I saw a little bit of a drop there into 124.10s. I am pleased as punch. I've not looked at the P&L today, but now I will, because, we should see how that goes. Happy to say I'm positive on every name except the dead one. So thank you very much for the money sign there from Sharif. Yeah, Apple was a bit more of a last-minute trade for me as well, so it makes sense that that happened for me. But, you know, that's enough from us. You're going to see Sharif at the green screen in a second. We'll see you guys next week with a whole new set of lessons. Same bat time and the same bat channel. Right now, we have Opie and Neil on those desks, and we have Sharif on the green screen, guys.
Welcome.
Oof, yeah, on that.
Am I unmuted? Welcome to the Afternoon Rundown, the show where you choose what we talk about every day. Neil